Baseball and Marlins CEO Derek Jeter issued statements confirming this. In fact, Jeter says that they have conducted another round of testing for the players and staff, and the team is remaining in Philadelphia pending the results of those tests, which are expected later today. Also, as a result of the Marlins outbreak, tonight's scheduled Yankees game at Philadelphia has now been postponed following the news of that outbreak, since the Yankees would have been using that same visiting clubhouse in Philadelphia used by Miami. Astros ace Justin Verlander's out at least a couple of weeks with a forearm strain. I'm Deb Carson.
We are Sports.
Isn't it about time for somebody's favorite radio program?
The Tony Bruno Show.
The man chosen to save American radio from its horrible future.
He didn't invent radio. He just perfected it.
Tony Bruno Show with Harry Maid.
Parental discretion is advised.
The godfather of sports radio.
It is a final.
Here is Tony Bruno.
Tony Bruno.
Hello again, everybody. Did you take your temperature today? Welcome to Philadelphia, the epicenter of the Rona outbreak, Harry. Did you wear your hazmat suit into these wine cellar studios on this Monday, Harry?
No, I did not. I don't own a hazmat suit, Tony.
I believe there'll be the new Major League Baseball issued hazmat suits if they're going to continue play. Phillies and your Miami Marlins postponed. The Marlins were supposed to go back to Miami, Harry, to play the Baltimore Orioles. The Yankees were supposed to be in Philly to play the Phillies tonight, who lost 2-3 from the Marlins. But the big story is 2 cancellations, only 3 games into the baseball season. And we have, for the first time since 1954, what's interesting to note here, ladies and gentlemen, 3 games into the baseball season, and there is not one team that is undefeated. Do you realize that?
Wow, yeah.
Every team has at least one loss. Coincidence? I think not. But anyway, so it's a big story, and we're going to talk about it today. And I have questions. And then when we get answers, then we question the answers. Because this is a show that's science-based, Harry. And let's be honest. I wonder what happened. Don't you want? I'm down here yesterday because we've been locked in. Robin and I haven't gone anywhere except the 4th of July where I laid at poolside for one day this stinking summer.
Well, I traversed the IKEA jungle.
Yeah, Robin went
yesterday.
to IKEA. I went supermarket shopping. That's what we do on our weekends.
So
you are
exciting.
living life.
I know.
Man.
I mean, it's just an unbelievable
I'll tell you
life.
what. We got to give you a bump.
Give myself
I mean,
one of those.
Jesus.
It's a disgrace. But it's not about me. It's not about me, Harry. It's about the people out there. I wear my mask. I walk to the post office. I wore my mask. I'm doing my part. But how does a Major League Baseball team come to Philadelphia from Atlanta, and then obviously they're so sick, Harry. The 14 people in the Marlins organization were so sick that they took a vote in the clubhouse before the game on Sunday and decided, hey, we feel all right. Let's go out and club the Phillies in their own ballpark.
Let's go.
Their coronavirus is so deadly that they fell behind 4-0 to the Phillies and then proceeded to drop 11 runs on this team in their own building with a bunch of cardboard people watching.
Yeah, like 7 extra base hits.
I mean, it was...
A couple of them were home runs.
So if that's what happens when you get the Rona, sign me up.
Exactly.
Give me a bat. Give me a glove.
Who knew that COVID-19 was a performance-enhancing situation?
It's unbelievable. And what's interesting to note here, as Vin Scully would say during a Dodger game, is that they actually met. The Marlins, according to the reports, they actually met before the game, and their all-star Philly owner, Rojas, that kid was phenomenal.
Yeah, he is great.
He said, hey, what the hell, let's play.
Yeah, let's
play
all
2.
play.
What the hell? Let's play 2. And Ernie Banks then called in and said, yeah, play 3.
How do you think they voted on whether to play or not? Was it like a Survivor Series format?
It's a good question.
I think they put up a poll.
Right. Did they just put it on the
They
poll?
put up a Twitter poll, I think, is what they
Hey,
did.
Derek Jeter, put it on the poll.
Yeah.
Derek Jeter's sitting in Miami saying, what the hell? Wait a minute. We just beat the Phillies 2 out of 3. We just fell behind 4-0 and then clubbed every single pitcher they threw out there. And now we're going to have to be shut down in Philadelphia?
Wow.
I hope they're not going out. Because Jim Kenney, man, I'll tell you what, he'll shut them down.
Oh yeah.
And then Tom Wolf, the governor,
will come in.
he'll break into their hotel rooms and make sure that they are quarantined in Philadelphia for the rest of this miserable summer.
Now, obviously, considering that now it's up to, I believe, 14 of them, they must not have any symptoms. They must be just fine, no fever, no nothing, right?
2 of them are coaches, apparently, out of the 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, that is not always the case. I mean, this is...
Well, they have a taxi squad.
Right.
So when people are talking about what happens next, if those players have symptoms and they can then get those players, separate them. They tested all the Phillies today.
They're already quarantining those Marlins players in Philadelphia.
I know
They're still here.
And so the Phillies all were tested today, the entire organization. Yeah. And guess where they took the results to get tested?
To Rutgers University.
Rutgers University, one of the most corrupt schools in America, where our own couch guy, Conlon Farrell's sitting with a Rutgers hat on today.
Well, I'm like, we've got all these good hospitals in Philadelphia. Why do they got to take them an hour up the turnpike?
You're right. Go right to Center City, like 2 miles away. We have 1 million hospitals.
Well, but Rutgers is partnering with that organization that has the special high-speed test.
High speed?
It takes like a day and a half.
But
is
it was
that
like
high
the
speed?
most...
Night that sports shut down, there were 2 guys for the Utah Jazz in Salt Lake City who got instantly tested.
Exactly.
The very night and got the results back instantly in Utah. We can't get results back in Philadelphia?
I don't understand
until
any of
the
this,
next
Tony.
day? What the hell is going on out there, Harry Mays?
I just don't understand.
I'm looking for answers. That's all.
Too.
Colin, weren't you saying, though, that there was another player that had a fever, right? Not on the Marlins, but who was it that you were just talking about?
Today?
No, that they mentioned that he had a fever.
That was the Atlanta Braves.
or whatever.
Juan
he
Soto
tested
from
positive
the Nationals.
for it, but now
tested
he's
positive.
okay.
Yes.
No, they're all in the protocol, but now.
And again, I'm not trying to downplay this, but what the insanity that's going on in the media and the world. And the problem is this: players are going to go out. Players, when they go to cities, and that's why. And again, people are knocking the ball. See, the NBA and hockey got it right. Well, we hope so. But the problem with baseball is these guys are traveling, and they're staying in hotels. They're not even going to strip clubs like Lou Williams, and they're getting the Rona. Where the hell are they getting the Rona?
Now, can't be bashing Lou Williams. He was just there to get food, Tony.
I know,
man.
Hey,
some of the best wings in the country come from that place.
Exactly.
Magic City Wings, bro.
I actually tweeted to Magic City, and they retweeted me over the weekend.
Oh, yeah?
I got a free steak dinner coming on. Next time we go to Atlanta,
nice.
It's on me.
I used to eat at the Doll House in Raleigh once a week. The filet there was phenomenal. Filet, baked potatoes, steamed broccoli.
Man. Now that's what I'm talking about.
Incredible.
We are just getting started. We got a great show today, Harry. I'm going to let the audience make the final determination. You know who's going to join us this hour? One of my favorite players, but one of the most hated guys in Phillies baseball history, Harry. The great Joe Carter. One of the great players to ever play this game. The guy was an athlete in every sport growing up in Kansas. Did you know that, Harry?
I did not.
Went to Wichita State, Cubs first-round pick, obviously played for a couple teams, and then back-to-back World Series championships with your Toronto Blue Jays, the team without a home, the team that won't be able to play their first game in Buffalo until August 11th, Harry. Did you know that? Yeah, they're not going to be able to play up there. So they're continuing their Road Warrior stuff. Joe Carter will join us. Carl Ravitch from ESPN will join us also today. And later on, we'll get into some football because training camps open this week, Harry. And now people are wondering, the NFL, just like baseball, the players will go home at night. And they're going to travel if there's a season.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And so the players, they were asking here in Philly, all the coaches are being asked about, are you happy now with the procedures? And Doug Peterson here, Carl Peterson, the former Eagles GM and, of course, Kansas City Chief GM, and you know his story. But Doug Peterson said he's confident. He's confident. He feels safe because of the protocols that the NBA, that the NFL bubble at the complex. But the bubble is fine when you're at home. These players are going to go home at night, and that's the concern, and they're going to test them supposedly every day.
Right. If there's a lot less travel involved in the NFL season than it is the baseball season.
Correct.
So
But the players and the staffs, they may be in the bubble during the day, but when they go home at night, you don't know where they're going. Are they going to have a curfew? Is somebody going to check them? Are they going to have cameras in their bedrooms?
Maybe they'll wear these like bracelets where they can monitor where they go.
That's a good question. You know who has that? The Denver Broncos have that. Did you see that? That's a story we're going to get to later on. Yes.
What I want to know is with this baseball situation, how is there not a protocol already in place where if you have multiple players testing positive on a team, that team can't play that day.
Exactly.
Like, I just don't understand how they just decide, hey, let's take a vote, guys.
And you know what
feel like playing?
This goes, yeah, let's go out there. Come on.
Let's go, team.
Exactly.
This doesn't make any sense.
Play like a champion today.
Yeah, right.
And slap the stinking clubhouse window. Let's go out there, boys.
Play like COVID today.
There were 11 of them sick, and they went out there
And they
clubbed
smacked the Phillies around.
for
It
9
doesn't
innings.
mean that they were sick. They tested positive.
Well, yeah. They
But you
use
would
that
think-
word sick, though.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're looking at the media in this country. Oh, my God, we got sick players. We got sick players dropping 11 runs on the stinking Phillies, a team that everybody's picking to win the National League East. That's how sick they are. I got a fever. Do I have to shut down the show and have everybody set in quarantine?
If I'm Vince Velasquez, I might want to go get COVID, okay?
Maybe the cutter will break better with the COVID.
Jeez.
They should have all gone into the clubhouse with the stinking Miami Marlins. They can't beat this team when they're healthy.
Yeah.
And they can't even beat this team when the Marlins are sick.
They lost 10 of 19 to them last year, I
know.
believe.
Jesus. Anyway, Joe Carter's
I mean, this means that they probably they didn't even necessarily have fevers, right? Because they're all getting their temperatures checked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. That's the problem. And this goes back to Rob Manfred. Remember, we've been ripping baseball from Jump Street. From the time that they had to stop their spring training, when everything shut down in March, Harry, baseball was dragging their feet. They were dragging their feet with the negotiations. It was aired publicly day after day, month after month, right? And then they finally said, hey, okay, good. Let's play 60 games. Let's go out. Come on, boys. Get out there. And then they put together this ragamuffin thing with the stupid cardboard fans in the stands, and nobody's supposed to touch each other. And meanwhile, players in the bullpen are sitting right next to each other with no masks on.
Fox had digital fans on Saturday afternoon. I was watching the Cubs and the Brewers.
Did you see that?
And there'd be certain camera
Yes.
when somebody would get a hit
In the outfield,
in
they
the
showed the
outfield,
fans.
they'd show fans in the stands like it was all like a cartoon. It was crazy. And then they go flash to the next pitch, and the stands are empty.
Exactly. I was
really
tripping,
bizarre.
man. I thought I
know.
was low. Oh, you know, I was watching that game. You know
Yeah.
what happened after our big tequila fest on
Well,
Friday,
yeah.
which is now a rave, all the rave
oh
on
my
YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
God! If you were not watching on Twitch, you missed out because you got 45 minutes of extra programming.
Forget
after
about
we
extra
turned off
innings.
everything
Yeah.
else.
We didn't start a man
We didn't
on
start
second
on
base.
second base either.
Exactly right. We came right out, and this is after the show. This wasn't even on the air. This was on
No.
our Twitch stream. So instead of shutting the Twitch stream down after the show on Friday,
We gave everybody on Twitch a vote. Should we stay on? Should we stay live?
And they were like, yeah!
yeah.
Just like the Marlins.
and then the Marlins had it. They had it in the clubhouse, and they went out and beat the Phillies Friday night after listening to that show, Harry.
Well, let's just say
And
it
I
was
want to say
epic.
we have to give a.
this.
You're drunk, okay? You're drunk.
We must have a viewer at discretion. Is there on YouTube?
NSFW or whatever?
NSFW,
Yeah.
yes. There is a lot of profanity. I don't
Yes.
normally use
Just
profanity.
a wee bit.
That's not your style to use
It's not my style to use excessive profanity. But we were having some cocktails, and then
Right.
we were recording stuff for the network formerly known as SB Nation, which as of today is Sports Map Radio, Harry.
Correct. And we do that every day
Well,
after
yeah,
the
we
show.
record
Yeah.
stuff with a late show.
But Friday
and so
was
on Friday
special.
night, it was a little loosey-goosey in here, Harry.
A little bit.
And we just let it go.
So you can-
we pulled back the curtain, Harry.
So you can get that on YouTube.
Yes,
is that right?
you can.
That's the
That
Tony
is
Bruno
correct.
show on YouTube.
Correct.
All right.
Parental discretion advised. So if
You
you
can-
got young kids playing Fortnite at home today
Mm-hmm.
who don't go to school this fall either, maybe if they want to hear a lot of bad words, you can check it out.
You can only get it live on Twitch, but if there's something extra special, we pull it out and post highlights
Excuse
on
me.
YouTube
Well,
for after.
whip it out.
I'm just going to say, I was getting a lot of flack in the beginning part of the program on Friday for busting out my 1800 coconut. And by Friday night around 6:15,
You were
everyone was
getting a
feeling
roaring. And by the way, I got to rip Ryan Roski. He bailed right in the middle of the whole
He
thing.
Irish goodbyed. I mean, he just disappeared.
Disappeared.
I did.
Just right up the steps and out.
Yeah.
What
I
was
was
that,
out.
man?
I Irish goodbye, man. It was getting a little rowdy, and I said I can't handle it. I can't keep
I
up,
can't
man.
be a party to
Listen,
this.
I can't be a part of this.
You can let me chaperone
I
them
got-
instead.
I've got a-
he's
I
got
put on
it.
the couch
I've
guy.
got a career to worry
Yeah,
about.
come on. I mean, some
What
people
is
are
going on
responsible.
in
I mean,
there?
come on, man.
It's not that busy, man. It's not that busy.
Oh Lord.
We are just getting started. Joe Carter from Kansas City. Join us next. We'll talk baseball. We'll ask him about what he would do right now. We know what he did back-to-back years in 92 and 93, Harry, with your Toronto Blue Jays, a team without a home. Joe Carter, And then Carl Ravitch from ESPN on what's going on with baseball and should they shut it all down. Depending on which sports media hack you listen to, we should shut everything down again, Harry. Let's just shut everything down. No, please, don't go out. I don't want to go. I don't want to sit in a press box ever again, Harry.
As long as I can golf, you can shut down whatever you want to shut down.
Damn right, man. We're coming right back with Joe Carter. Stick around. Strapper line calls, your phone calls. It's all ahead. Tony Bruno, Harry Mays, SiriusXM 211, and, of course, on Sports Map Radio, yo.
It was truly epic. All right.
They still make plasmas, or did they get rid of all of those? Remember the big debate?
I think they're gone.
That was the big debate, like Beta and VHS. It was plasma or LED. Remember?
Mm-hmm. Whoops. I don't want full screen. All right. So we are waiting for Joe.
Joe Carter. Mr. Carter.
Join.
Hey, Mr. Carter.
Hopefully he's coming in here shortly. Please remind him that he's live on Twitch right away.
You have water, Harry?
No, I don't.
I have one. Conlon needs one. Robin,
Yeah.
you have water?
I'll need another one, but if I could have room temperature.
Here, have a
please.
room temperature. Grab me a cold one. I filled that son bitch up, man.
And you got the fresh crackers.
I got you bastards fresh crackers yesterday afternoon. They didn't have any of the Lance regular ones. They were sold out.
Really?
Just the round Lance peanut butter ones. They didn't have them. I gave Robin my room temperature one. Other than that, is that a satchel or a man purse that guy on the couch is sporting? Wow, it's a backpack.
It's a backpack.
It's what all the Antifa guys wear when he's out on the weekend breaking into federal buildings.
Yeah, I got this at Antifa orientation on Friday.
Beautiful. Did you burn down one of the police cars in Philly?
That's a myth, Tony.
Oh, it is
That's
a myth. It's not a merce. Jim from Cheltenham will be playing back that after show 20 years from now, Harry, when he calls in, like when our grandchildren are broadcasting.
His grandchildren will be calling in.
Exactly. Jim's grandchildren will be calling. Hey, crank that thing all the way up to 4 there, man. What's it on right now, 3?
It's on F3.
Put it on F4, man. Go all the way up. If it goes up to F11. Now it's hot in here, isn't it?
Joe, this is Miss Robin. Can you hear me?
So my Jamal Adams college jersey paid off.
Wait a minute. There he is. What do you have on? What hat do you have on, man? Look at that.
Joe, just some real quick homework here before we come back. As soon as you hear the music, we'll be quiet because we're coming back from break. But right now you see Tony Bruno, Harry Mays in the shot to the side. But the audience on Twitch will see full frontal, right from the full frontal.
Full frontal. Am I taking my shirt off? Joe, you're going to take your shirt off? Man, it's great to see you again, man. I haven't talked to you forever. I've been trying to get a hold of you forever, man.
I know, Tony. I went from Twitter to Instagram. I had to look at Twitter for a long time. And
can you, sorry, Joe, just to really quickly interrupt, can you center your camera just a little bit?
No, you need to move to the left. Oh, there you go. A little bit more. Just a little bit more.
A little bit more?
Yeah.
Perfect, right there.
I can't believe you still have a 1993 Toronto Blue Jays hat on, Harry. You see that?
It still has a tag.
It still has the tag on it, man.
Yeah.
Now, this show's national, so it's not just bashing Phillies fans here, even though I still live in Philly, Joe. We got to talk, Blue Jays.
No, I'm just helping you to remember, since you got me last with that fake ending to the World Series, which you probably still have, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't do it. They did it at ESPN when I was up there. You know that, Joe.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, somebody actually made Joe Carter didn't hit the home run call against Mitch Williams.
Oh, yeah?
And the Blue Jays didn't win the World Series in 1993. I don't know where that is. It was up at ESPN.
Welcome back to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on SiriusXM 211.
Well, it's a Monday, and the world is still going crazy, Harry Mays. Here we are sitting. It's hot and humid. I think it's been in the 90s every day since March. It's just unbelievable.
It's been hot and humid.
But ladies and gentlemen, just when you thought it was safe to come back and play baseball, we have shutdowns of two. We here in Philadelphia, the Marlins and Phillies have both been shut down. Marlins are supposed to go home and play Baltimore. They're locked down here in Philly. The Phillies are supposed to play the Yankees here tonight. That game has been canceled. But a man who never takes a day off, and he still looks like he could play and probably could pitch because guy did it all, Harry. Back in the day in Wichita State, Cubs, and, of course, the Blue Jays, back-to-back World Series, but the most painful one for Phillies fans, as you well remember, Harry.
Yeah.
1993 Sky Dome, and he's still wearing today on our Zoom. He still has a brand-new, out-of-the-box with the tag still on, Toronto Blue Jays championship hat.
It's got the tag on it?
I know. Did you just buy that, or have you saved that since 93, Joe?
No, my wife, you know what, Tony, she has all of the ticket stubs from both World Series, and they were never torn. So she talked her way into getting into all the games without them tearing her tickets. So she has everything. So I kind of went in the top of my closet and pulled this out. She doesn't know I have it. So I'm trying to hide from her right now. So
that brim is still pretty flat,
Tony.
too.
You wearing that for me, Joe? I like that. Listen, you know me. I mean, we worked together when I was at ESPN. You retired, and, of course, you were doing the Cubs game. So we got to meet Mark Grace after he retired and you and ESPN. A lot of fun. It's always great talking to you. And I always think I've been trying to get a hold of you. We were talking before you came on. So you're one of those guys, you have a Twitter account, but you're never on there because you went to Instagram, right?
Well, I did Twitter for a very long time, and then I got a few direct messages, and I kind of go back and forth, but I'm not really a big social media. I do it mainly for my golf tournaments, or if there's an advertisement, I'll do. But, Facebook, never done Facebook ever.
Good call. Good call.
So I've stayed away from that. But Twitter has been very good to me, and so has Instagram. So I apologize for not getting back with you sooner, but I had to make you wait, Tony. So
absolutely.
All my credentials, all my publicists, they finally got to me. All one of them, which is me.
Now, people don't know this. Harry Mays, my partner here, the whole gang in the studio, that you grew up in the Kansas City area, right outside of Kansas City. So obviously you're a Chiefs fan. You went to Wichita State, and of course you play for the Cubs. But then the story that I love the most is that after you won the 92 World Series against the Braves, you were a free agent and had a choice. And back then, Ewing Kauffman, who was the owner of the Kansas City Royals, had a lot of money, and he was throwing money at everybody, and you had to make a decision. Do I stay home because you were living there since 86 with your wife and family, or do I go back to Toronto and play one more year? And tell everybody how you made that decision.
Well, Tony, first of all, I grew up in Oklahoma City, but living here in Kansas City, Leawood, Kansas, since 1986. You are correct on that.
And that's where your wife's from, right? She's from there.
Yeah, she's from Kansas City, Kansas. And so we've made our home here since 1986, and it's a great place, home, of course, of the Super Bowl champs, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. Done a good job, so they brought it home for us. But after the 92 World Series, I was a free agent, and there were only two teams that I was interested in playing for. I wasn't going to get in a bidding war and try to bring in, say, I want to play for Boston, New York, the Dodgers, so they could up the ante of the price. I said it was two teams, Kansas City or go back to Toronto. And, Ewing Kauffman made me a tremendous offer. In fact, it was a better offer than what I received from the Blue Jays because it was more guaranteed money up front. And so when I had the talk with Mr. Kauffman and my agent the day before, he says, where are we at? I said, look, you're in the ballpark. It's between you and Toronto. I said, as soon as I get confirmation from the Lord, then I prayed about it. He's going to show me, and that's where I'm going to end up, and not until. And after Kansas City made the huge offer to me, that night I went to bed. And I had a dream that night. And in the dream, I was dribbling a basketball, and I was walking to the ballpark with my good friend Devon White, and I'm dribbling the basketball because I love basketball. You know that, Tony. And so the place is dark. And when I get to the ballpark, the lights come on and it says, "Welcome to the Sky Dome." And that morning when I woke up, I looked in my backyard and there are Blue Jays all in my backyard. And I called my agent and I said, "We're going to Toronto." That was it. That was how I made my decision.
You believe that? Wow. Is that an unbelievable story? And the Philly fans regret that day forever and ever and ever.
I have a nest of Blue Jays right off my back porch. Yeah, see them every day.
You'll have to go to Buffalo, though, because the Blue Jays can't even go back to Toronto.
They can't even get to Canada.
The great Joe Carter. Now, Joe, first of all, you know what's going on now. Baseball restarted the 60 games, and then you saw what happened this weekend here in Philly. The Miami Marlins found out that a lot of their guys weren't feeling well. I mean, they weren't sick, that they tested positive, and they're not allowed to tell anybody who tests positive. Yet they met in the clubhouse before the game and then decided, yeah, we feel all right, let's go out and play. And then they put an 11 spot up on the Phillies, and then the whole world crashes because everybody finds out that they had 14 people in the entire traveling party who have tested positive for COVID. What's your reaction to all this?
Wow, Tony, I mean, this is this whole pandemic has just been unbelievable. What it has done to the country, to the world, since everything was shut down on March the 15th. To me, it almost seems like Groundhog Day or spring training because every day is the same. And so, me and my wife here, we're empty nesters. And so it was like, what day is this? I don't know what day it is because it's the same day. And you had the restart of baseball. And in the back of your mind, you knew that something like this was going to happen, but we didn't know how far it would get or how soon it would spread. But we didn't even get 2 games into the season before this happened now. And I think it's just an aberration of things to come because, there's no way to avoid this. They've done it without fans, but with the players. When you travel, when you go to hotels, you can't all stay in the same room. I did that with my family, 11 kids in the family. We all stayed in the same room, so we quarantined ourselves. So the only way you're going to be able to control it is if you put everybody in the same room, one big suite, and just keep them there, and they can't go anywhere during the time they're not at the ballpark. That's the only way. But other than this, I think it's going to continue to spread.
Well, where do you think they go from here, Joe? Let's just say that they have a couple of more cases maybe on the Marlins. Maybe the Phillies end up getting a couple of cases here or there. But is this something like that they can play with? Because I think it's just a reality that we're going to have to find ways to just deal with this and still go on about daily life.
You know what? You're right because it's something that we're going to have to deal with. Until we have the vaccination, this thing is not going away. And I think that as a ball player, as a person, we have to be committed to doing our job. And that's when we're out in public to wear a mask. I wear my mask everywhere I go. When I play golf, I even have my mask on. I'm the only one on the golf course with a mask on. So, I'm doing that not because I have it, but I want to protect others and show the respect. And that's what is going to have to happen. But it's something that, a lot of the guys are asymptomatic. So they feel great. They can go out there and play, but it's a matter of passing it on. And when they're young and healthy, then a lot of those guys can recover from that. And so they feel invincible. But it's not the players we're kind of worried about. It's more of when they go home, their kids, their fathers, their mothers who are older, who may have symptoms that we don't know about that could be detrimental to them. So that is the part why you see a few players opting out because of those conditions. But I think I don't know what Major League Baseball is going to do if they're going to try to shut it down. It's up in the air because I know a lot of the football, basketball, they're watching to see what MLB will do with this because football is beginning to open back up, and so is basketball. So they may have the same conundrum as far as what they need to do. So baseball is on. They're up right now to see how they're going to handle it.
Joe Carter, in the Canadian Hall of Fame, but not in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame in this country, Harry. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Now, Joe, you were like Larry Bowa. You were the first year of eligibility. You didn't get enough votes to stay on the ballot, so you've been waiting for the Veterans Committee. Do you think you'll ever get back in there? You think you'll ever get into the Baseball Hall of Fame?
Well, Tony, I had a shot 2 years ago when the Veterans Committee came up. They put in Lee Smith and Harold Baines got in. But I've always said that Lee Smith never should have been on that Veterans Committee ballot. He should have been in the Hall of Fame right from get-go.
Absolutely.
Because when he retired, he was the league leader in save, the career league leader in saves. Seeing my good buddy Harold Baines get in was a plus. And so now what I like about those committees, because they're made up of people who played the game, people who know the game, and it's not just all about numbers. They talk about a 10-year dominance. And if you look at my statistics, as far as offensively, in those 10 years, I was either 1, 2, or 3 in all the offensive categories and games playing every day. So, there still is a slight chance. But if I don't get in, it's not because I don't feel I deserve to. But I know that my peers who I played against, they know what type of player I was. My teammates know what type of player I was. And to me, that's satisfaction enough.
And you talk about golf, the great Joe Carter. He has a golf tournament every year, Harry. So Harry has yet to ask you if he can get you on your track out there in the Kansas City area.
Harry, come on out. We got a great course out here in my backyard called Hallbrook. It's the Tom Fazio course, one of the first ones he built.
There you go.
When he built it, it was a 151 slope rating.
Wow.
It was one of the toughest ones that he ever built, and he came back and he felt sorry for us, so he redid it, took out some of the undulation, and now the back tees is only 143.
Oh wow, that's still incredible. Wow.
We have a tradition here, Joe Carter, on the show because Harry's our resident guy. I haven't played golf in 5 years. I stink. I go out every once in a while on the charity thing, but I don't even do that anymore. But every time we have a guest and he knows that they must live because you have a charity tournament every year and you get all the big time stars that go. He wants to know what the track is, and now his eyes are perked up because you mentioned a great one.
We should go out and do the show from there
Absolutely.
during his event.
Exactly. Now, did you do your charity golf tournament this year?
No, unfortunately, we did not because it's in Canada, and they're not allowing anyone in Canada. Okay. It was going to be on June 17th. We had to postpone it, and hopefully was trying to get it in the middle of August, but that's still not going to be a go, so we're just postponing it, cancel it until next year. But I've done it for 10 years now. Mitch has been up a couple of years. Mm-hmm. And Tony, I'll tell you a great story about Mitch because there's always great stories about Mitch. Okay. So I talked to him. We do a card show together. And so he says he wants to play in my tournament. So I'm like, okay, hey, I'll get you to my tournament. Fine. And so it's the first time he's been back to Toronto. And he lands at the airport. Limousine picks him up and brings him to the tournament, but it's a practice round. And so he gets out of the limousine, and the first person he sees is my son, Jordan, who looks exactly like his dad, okay? And so the next person he sees is my younger brother, Fred, who looks exactly like me. We are split an image. And Mitch goes, damn, he said, everybody in Toronto looks like Joe Carter.
That is great.
That was his initiation into coming to my tournament. We've had a great time. We've raised, over $6 million for the Children's Aid Foundation. I've got a lot of celebrities that come back every year. Dr. J, and I frequent his tournament a lot. And I tell you what, that course they have up there, Aronimink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I played it a few times. The Ace Club, also great courses there. Great.
You got Harry's really excited. He says, screw baseball. Let's talk golf here.
Exactly.
Let's talk golf.
Exactly.
Golf will survive the coronavirus, Tony.
Now, what course do you use up in Toronto?
Toronto is called Eagle's Nest. And it is a public course. It's one of the top ones in all of Canada. It is tough. Sterling Sharp, who I had to beg to come to my tournament, I said, look, Sterling, if I just get you there one time, you won't want to miss it ever again. And when he got there, he said, and Sterling's a great golfer. And Sterling goes, He goes, Joe, this is a great tournament. He said, this is a great track. And, we have a skins tournament. The first year we had the skins tournament, it was 18 players, and we played with threesomes. And so we had a celebrity pot and everything, and they were kind of mad at me because I shot 1 under for the skins tournament with 2 double bogeys.
Wow!
And kind of walked away with all the skins. So after that, I realized that I had to share the wealth and not beat up on everybody. So, I let the other guys win some skins now.
Does Joe play in that American Century tournament?
No, you don't go out there to Tahoe. I've never seen you out there, Joe.
No. I was out there for 10 years in a row. I have not been out there the last 2 years. I'm not out there this year and last year. 2018 was my last year. They make the rounds. Guys get a chance to go out there and play, and I had a great time out there. Unfortunately, I never got too much TV time. I don't know. I never got the good TV slots.
Yeah, I mean, and you're a scratch golfer, right? I mean, you got to be scratch, aren't you, or close to it?
Well, yeah. Every time I itch, you scratch. But no, at the time I was a 1 and 2 handicap. I'm now a 5 handicap because I want to get my handicap up because I'm tired of giving all these guys strokes at my club. They're killing me. But I'm always been a single digit, and I think the highest I finished at Tahoe was, I believe, 17th or 18th. Now, I did play this past January in the Diamond Resorts with the LPGA women. And I think John Smoltz won that. I think he had 120-some points. I ended up with 100, I believe it was 107, 105 points. So, I was in the thick of it, but golf I love it. It's a great game. I've never had a bad day on the golf course, and I could go out there, play 36, and then go hit balls for 2 hours. It's just that great a game.
The great Joe Carter, man. You're speaking Harry's language right here, right now, man.
I can see Harry perking up.
I'll tell you,
man.
Hey, let's go.
Well, I got my loudmouth bag right there, man. My loud bag. It's got the American flag it down. Like I'm ready to go out. I just have my bag sitting right here, Joe.
Can you see it?
I even have my Tommy Armour Persimmon driver still in there.
Tony, it doesn't do you any good there. You got to go out and play it. You got to get the Callaways, the Mavericks. You got to use everything. Oh no, my tournament. We have a great time. We have about 80 sponsors, and the guys that come out. We have a lot of the women's. Troy Mullins, the long drive champion. She's played the last couple of years. I mean, Jerome Bettis. I mean, Dr. J. It's Jim McMahon. It's something that I said if I want to have a tournament, I want to put it on. I want it to be the best one there is. And the guys love coming to the Joe Carter Classic. So we missed it this year. We had our newest guy we had coming this year was Travis Kelce. And with the virus, we couldn't have it. So hopefully we'll get him next year and hopefully it'll be the 2-time defending champion Kansas City Chiefs.
All right, Joe, I got to get a couple more quick ones in baseball here. Toronto doesn't have a home this year. They're going to play in Buffalo. I don't know if you've been up to that Bison Stadium, and they're obviously getting the lights and everything ready for it, and they're going to play August 11th there. How hard is that going to be? Because the Expos did it, back in the 91, I believe. They had to play on the road when they had a problem in their building and the beam fell down. How hard is it going to be if they continue to play for the Blue Jays to do what they're going to have to do?
Well, I'm glad that they are getting the chance to play in Buffalo. So at least you have some similarity of a home field. I think it would have been detrimental had they had to play all of their games on the road. That would not have been fair to them because, they're living out of a suitcase every single day. In Buffalo, a lot of Toronto Blue Jay fans there, with our AAA team being there, which is great. And now for the first time in a lot of years, you have 3 teams in New York, playing professional baseball. So I think the right decision was made. I think that guys like Vladimir Guerrero, because he has been so familiar with playing there in Buffalo, I think it's going to be an advantage for those guys who have spent time there in AAA. And with a young ball club that they have, I mean, they have the chance to go out there and really play well and do some damage in this shortened 60-game season. if the season continues. That's what we need to look forward to. But being in Buffalo, I think it's great for the Blue Jays that they have a chance to play there.
Yeah, what does it say about our Phillies here, Joe, that they lost 2 out of 3 to the Marlins, which had 1/3 of the roster had COVID-19?
Well, I tell you what, right now it's any given Sunday, anybody can get beat. And when you have the urgency, you don't have the luxury of saying, hey, it's opening day, get off to a slow start. You go, 10-15 your first month. You say, that's all right. It's only April. No, I mean, this is July. This is August. Every game counts, and it makes a difference. But they're in Philadelphia. Bryce, I see he had a long home run the other day. It's a veteran ball club. You've got guys that they need to get out to quick starts, but this is all something that's everyone's not used to. Starting the season when it's hot, in July and August, and it's been hot everywhere across the country.
Yeah, but the hitters love this because the hitters are smacking the ball all over the place. It's the pitching. Normally the pitching's ahead of the hitters. Now the hitters, because they're starting in the heat, are ahead of the pitchers, right?
Well, yeah, because I take that back because we saw a lot of 1-0, 2-0 ball games the first day of the season. The pitchers had the advantage. I think the hitters. I think we as hitters we get more used to the atmosphere as far as the crowd noise. So it takes some adjustments. As a pitcher, you try to go out there, you try to be cool, calm, and collective, and keep your emotions in. And so I think not having any fans has been great for pitchers and not so well for hitters because we thrive on that emotion. We need that adrenaline to be pumped up. And usually the pitchers, the first few games, they're going to be ahead of the hitters. It happened, I think, the first couple of games, but after that, guys, the bats are getting loose and they're swinging the bats. They're seeing what this strike zone is. And, when you have a bad strike zone, you got to be like me. You say, look, if umpire has a bad strike zone, I know I'm going to swing at least 3 pitches so I can get my own self out, if there's a bad strike zone. But one of those balls I'm going to put in play somewhere.
Like a 2-2 slider in 1993 in the bottom of the 9th inning at the Sky Dome against Mitch Williams?
Well, I thought it was a slider, but it was a cut fastball, so it had slider action on it down and in. But here's the thing. I'm a low ball hitter. The reason why I'm a low ball hitter because of my golf swing, because of golf. Same semantics. Golf, you're keeping your head down, hands through the ball, head behind ball. And that's all that I did. All I did was hit a pitching wedge that was down and in. I just hit it down the line, kept it fair, 135 yards. That's all I needed right there. Right, Harry?
Yep. Had a little.
He knows the yardage.
Had a little draw on it.
Yeah, he didn't say feet. 135 yards into the corner in left field. And people in Philly hate you, but I know I love you, Joe. You're one of my favorite people of all time, and I'm so happy to work with you and talk to you a lot. And you did a great job as a broadcaster, too, and with the Cubs for many, many years. So why did you give up broadcasting in the last question?
Why did I give up broadcasting? Well, I did the 2 years with ESPN, 98, 99, and then I went to Toronto, did that there for 2 years, and then I did the Cubs games on WGN. I had a 2-year deal, and then I had replaced Steve Stone, who was ill at the time. But then he recovered and came back. That was basically his job. So myself and Dave Otto were just filling in. And, one thing that I learned at an early age, Bobby Bonds taught me something that I never forgot. He said, Joe, always be in a position to say no. And so what that meant was if you take care of your body, if you take care of your money, and if you don't want to do something later on after you retire, you don't have to do it because you're in a crunch for money. So I was able to do that and take care of myself. And when Steve Stone came back, it was 2002. I came back home. My son Jordan was just at an age, he was 13 and really involved in baseball. So I took the time to stay with my family, to coach, and to work on my handicap. And so that's all I did was coach basketball, coach baseball, and play golf.
The great Joe Carter. Yeah, did you ever get that ball back, though? That's the question everybody wonders about, the home run ball in Skydome.
Yeah.
You were in the home field, so obviously the home fan's going to give it to you, and you hooked them up probably with a bat and another ball.
Well, Tony, what you have to do, you have to realize when you're going to hit a home run like that majestic of a home run, you have to make sure you don't hit it into the stands. And so what I did, like I said, I knew the back wall was 135 yards. I hit a low line drive. It hits the back wall and it bounces back to our bullpen catcher, John Sullivan. And so John Sullivan, after all the hoopla, I go do all my interviews. And I walk into the clubhouse like maybe 45 minutes after a game, and the first person I see is John. He goes, "Hey, I think I got something you may want." And it was the baseball. So he gave me that baseball. And a funny story, as soon as the game was over with, the Hall of Fame guy comes running to Sullivan and says, "Where's the ball at? Where's the ball at?" Because he wants it. and Sully goes, "I don't know where the ball's at. I don't know. I don't know what happened to it." But he had it all along because he was going to give it to me. So, yes,
wow.
I have the baseball. It's in a very safe place, and it'll be a part of the Carter household for a very long time.
This is Robin here. We might need to it's probably your wife has it in a safe place, right? With all the other stuff that she's put away. Let's clarify this.
Hey,
I
Joe.
can't give away too many secrets.
Joe, it's so great to catch up with you, man. I love it talking baseball, and I really appreciate the time. Thanks for popping in, man. Great to see you again.
All right, Tony. Hey, when we get to Philadelphia, Tony, Harry, hey, let's go play some golf.
Absolutely. Harry's got places to hook you up.
Yeah.
I don't have any connections here, Joe. I only live here. Harry's the golf guy here.
Let's
do it.
Sounds good. I'll
talk.
take you up on that.
All right, beautiful. Joe Carter, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give him a long round of applause.
Love to play golf with him.
Absolutely. How many shots would he have to give you, though? Hey?
No, he says he's
a 5.
Below a 5. He's going to be taking a lot of shots.
We're coming right back. Much more still ahead. Baseball chatter. Carl Ravitch next hour from ESPN, Harry. And then we'll talk some football later with Matt Miller. Training camps are scheduled to open this week. Are NFL players now concerned? Because they're not in a bubble either, just like baseball players.
I saw Carson Wentz walking into the Eagles facility today.
Was that John Clark with him?
I think so.
Did he have a camera?
Well, he was about 30 feet away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not 6 feet?
No, he was.
What's the matter with John? He's losing a step. We're coming right back. Stick around.
That was awesome.
He looks like he can go play right now.
Yeah, he's incredible. The guy played like every sport. He had 11 brothers and sisters. So when they played baseball, they can field and team. They can go out and play.
Yeah.
And he played baseball. He was a track star. He was a football star.
Listen to this. Washington Post, Thomas Boswell.
Yeah.
Every sport has a coronavirus plan. MLB's lasted 4 days. And he goes, perspective, every sport. Well, I just said that. Sports can't be played safely in a country that doesn't value public health.
Oh, okay.
Cujo knows Eagles Nest Putt-Putt and Arcade in Toronto. I don't think so. Ice Rink Ottawa, that was amazing.
Not Matt Millen. Matt Miller. Matt Miller's coming up later on. No, this guy said Matt Millen.
Oh.
I know Matt Millen, but that's not who's coming on.
Does Couch Guy have a parachute next to him?
No, that's a backpack.
It's a gray backpack.
It's the backpack that the fabulous Coconut 1800 was in, but it looks very flat right now.
Yes.
It's
You know he's not Antifa because it would be a black backpack. Gray backpacks are out when you're torching police cars and federal buildings.
Ryan Peach, everybody's complaining that you're too low-key faded today.
Bro, I'm low-key.
Yeah, I had a long weekend, you know what I mean?
Low-key faded, man. Is that right about Carl Ravitch starting on the local affiliate, WHTM in Harrisburg?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I don't know if it was his first job, but he did work there.
The Rutgers hat is not strong.
Mikey misses hair plugs. So we lost the World Series because of a damn dream? Well, shit.
Couch guy, is he D.B. Cooper? No, he's too young to be D.B. Cooper. Not Mac Miller. I jokingly said that earlier. He's dead.
Mike Farrell, 6 years. Is there a skateboard in that Merce?
Merce. No, he's got one of those batons that you just go and it comes out and then you can use it to beat up.
No, that would only be if
Whip
he,
this thing out.
If he had the black backpack. This is gray. Get it right, people.
Did Wentz survive the walk? Wow.
I
think they're breaking that down today on the local sports talk, right?
He was there in Harrisburg in the early 1990s.
I know our buddy Jeff, the ice rink in Ottawa, had to love the Joe Carter conversation.
Oh, yes.
Was that not quality
Yes.
baseball chatter?
He was awesome.
No, we're not interviewing Scott Stevens next. Come on.
Joe said anytime. That's awesome.
Love Joe. People don't know Joe. I mean, he's just one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time I heard him tell that story about the 135-yard drive.
He sounds like he's a golf addict, though.
Yes.
Oh, he is a golf
Well, and it
addict.
sounded like he was playing golf even before, for forever, even when he
Oh,
was
yeah, but then
in-
once you're at the end of the career, these guys played. When you love the game at a young age, and especially after you retire, you go out and play golf. The Steve Stone story, I'm glad he told that because, he did fill in for a couple of years with the Cubs. And he was filling in for Steve Stone, who was sick.
What's tomorrow? Oops, tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Tuesday.
I know.
We have tomorrow already locked in, right?
Who's that?
Dan
Dan
Schulman.
Schulman.
McMullen, too.
Dan Schulman and McMullen. We're off to a good, solid week here. Huh? Good first day.
Vulcan
it pays to sit in
brother.
the basement all stinking weekend.
Vulcan brother. Joe is really nice, and that's from a Braves fan that absolutely died when they lost to the Blue Jays.
Yeah, that was 92 he helped
Yeah.
beat them.
Welcome back to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on SiriusXM 211.
Back here in the epicenter of all things that are bad in America. Well, the Phillies, 1-2 against. I tried to tell people last week, as good as that Phillies lineup is, the pitching is terrible. Everybody was putting this team in as the National League East champs, Harry.
Well, they didn't score runs for Nola. And yesterday they scored 6 runs. 6 runs should be enough to win the ball game.
Well, they were up 4-0.
Yeah.
And you got a team you're ready to crush, and then Vince Velasquez goes out there, gives up a home run, and then decides not on his own to plunk a guy who's been owning him. And then the floodgates open, and then every relief pitcher they put in there couldn't do anything. It was embarrassing. And if you think you're going to win a division when you have
With Cole Irvin, guys like that, no way.
No, these guys are not ready for this situation. And Velasquez, let's be honest, the guy's got great stuff, but he's not a starting pitcher. He's a guy that can go in there and give you 1 inning late in the ball game because he can focus for 1 inning. But long term, when you're a starter, the bottom line is hopefully they'll be able to continue playing. I'm not going to sit here and say the season's over. We don't know how to do this. I'll leave that up to all the woke sports writers out there who play God and determine that they shouldn't be playing
Well, they
sports.
canceled the season at 9 a.m. today.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was already canceled before our conference call this
Exactly.
morning. But I kind of look at the reactions similar to when the outbreaks with the caddies and some of the players on the PGA
golf,
Tour.
they got to shut it down.
Right. There was a lot of, hand-wringing and people were freaking out. And then they sort of just settled down and they realized, hey, we've got this sort of contained. We've got some cases, but we're going to exist and it's going to coexist with us and we're going to move forward. And hopefully that's what happens here.
And here's the bottom line. We're talking about professional athletes who have the best testing, the best care every single day when they go to work. They can get tested. Meanwhile, Joe Schmo out there who feels sick, he has to wait and try to get a test. So, again, I'm not feeling sorry for athletes. I don't want anybody to die, but people are getting COVID. And guess what? The players are responsible for this. They're going from city to city, and if they want to go out at night when they're in another town, who's going to stop them? Who's going to stop them? They're not locked in their hotel rooms. And so if the players aren't responsible enough, if they go out to wear a mask and to do all the things that Joe Blow, who runs a small business and can't open because governors are telling them that they can't open their business and have 10 people in a bar because they're all going to die, yet there's thousands of people on the streets every weekend protesting everything. So you can't have it all ways. And I'm not a doctor, I'm not pretending to be, and I'm not telling people what to do. I wear my mask, you wear your mask. But guess what, Harry? The baseball players are the irresponsible ones here.
But
the baseball players get tested.
Yes.
And so how did they get COVID?
I don't know.
How
They
did
might have
get
brought
it?
it with them. They
But I
might have
think-
had it in Florida.
I
and
know. I'm
brought
not
it
saying
here.
they got it here. I'm
Yeah.
saying how did they get it?
Yeah.
They were in Atlanta before they came
Right.
to Philadelphia.
Maybe they went to Magic City for some wings.
The
Maybe
bigger
they did.
outrage, though, is that the fact that management said, hey, you guys still want to play?
Yeah.
Yeah, the manager and the pitching coach are
That's
sitting.
actually the bigger
yeah.
outrage.
But that's with Major League Baseball, that there's no protocol in
Exactly.
their rules that
Exactly.
say, hey, if you have X amount, if you have 2 players or more that test, I'm just picking a number here,
Yeah.
that test positive for the virus, your team cannot
Yeah.
play that day.
Yeah.
You know, because then you got to figure out how much has this spread. We need to cool it. They didn't do that.
No. And then the
So now they might have infected the Phillies.
And then the funnier story is, not that it's funny, that the Phillies all had to get tested today and they had to send the results to Rutgers. Are you serious right now? How the hell did Rudy Gobert and the other dude get tested, and then everybody in that gym that night in Salt Lake City, remember, there's 2 basketball teams. That's when the first sporting event, that's
Right.
when we first heard of it in the sporting world.
That was Oklahoma City.
In Oklahoma
Yeah,
City,
it
it
was
was,
Oklahoma
the
City.
Utah
Utah was
Jazz
playing in Oklahoma City.
City.
Yeah. Right.
And Oklahoma City somehow, inside the building, had enough tests for everybody on both teams and everybody in the building who was with the team and with the media and everybody else in the building.
You know why?
Why?
Because the NBA has ties to China.
China. That's a good question, Harry. Not like the WNBA.
Are they playing?
It doesn't look like
WNBA? They have
They
a
still-
bubble, too.
they still going on?
They have
Yeah.
a bubble in over
Yeah, they're playing in the
Sarasota,
bubble.
Florida.
Exactly.
IMG Academy, yeah.
And apparently ESPN made a mistake over the weekend in a tweet that was retweeted everywhere as fact. You saw the video.
What about the anthem?
Yeah, it was 2 teams, the Liberty, and who were they playing? It was
No,
the WNBA.
Couldn't tell you.
2 teams, I think it was Seattle. I think it was Seattle against the New York Liberty.
Not the Kraken.
No. And not the Liberty, Bibbity, or the Limu Emu. They were not in the building. And so they showed the video of the women on the WNBA teams both walking off the floor, and ESPN accidentally or incorrectly tweeted out that they walked off during the national anthem. And that's not the case. They had to correct it, right?
12 hours later, they corrected
So what was the story? They did leave the floor.
They left the floor, but it wasn't when the national anthem was actually going on.
Weren't they
It
in
was
the
a much
locker room
different
when the
scenario.
anthem was going
Correct.
on? Yeah, so they
Correct.
weren't even out there.
No,
Yeah.
they weren't even out there.
They didn't walk off during. They were already in the locker room.
Everybody wants to go crazy. And, one guy didn't stand. No, this guy stood. One guy who did stand, he's got to go to jail in San Francisco.
So I'm trying to find out why it was sent to Rutgers as opposed to somewhere else.
I mean, these are just basic common sense questions, right? How
Yeah.
many frickin' hospitals do we have here in Center City? Some of the best in the
Top
world.
flight hospitals,
Some of the
yeah.
best in the world.
Well, because they're probably like, we don't want to deal with that. We got a million things going on. Rutgers isn't doing shit.
Rutgers
You
is
know
trying
what?
to figure out how to teach kids how to read.
How to get 100 people in their football stadium.
Exactly.
Wow.
They should
That
shut
is-
that sumbitch down.
That is a low blow.
They should shut that program and that entire school down, Harry.
So it was
I'm sure our buddy Brian Gutherman here is
Oh, yeah.
he's a big Rutgers guy. You know I'm busting chops, man.
he was
I'm
using
not.
a lab at Rutgers
No,
University in
kidding.
New Jersey.
Did they put it on the Amtrak and make the stop there? Did they take the Amtrak train up there?
Probably.
Ain't nobody driving to Rutgers during the day.
No.
Hell no.
Or night.
Come on, man. New Brunswick is bucolic up there, man, in the summertime.
I'm not talking about the city. I'm just talking about the school. Dude, even if baseball, I don't understand I don't see how they come out from this. And I'm
Wait a
not
minute.
trying to be negative. But,
Oh, no. Well,
you
it's
know.
Grapple Joe taking a shot. At least Rutgers has a football stadium shot at Harry's temple. Well, listen,
I didn't even say anything about Rutgers.
Yeah,
that was Rothstein.
That was me.
That was you and Rothstein.
Yeah, why are you taking shots at Harry?
They might have a football team, but their football team is also under quarantine now because of all the outbreak of
Rutgers?
Yeah.
No, they're not going to play. They're not even going to have classes.
they're not even.
But
they're not even showing up.
They shut down summer workouts
their-
on Friday.
Yeah, their football team has been quarantined after positive. Here, can you see this?
How are they quarantined? They didn't even report, I thought.
I guess
they did report?
Yeah.
Why did they report?
They report
Michigan State shut down too.
Really?
I think
It was a voluntary football
Yeah.
workout, and they had 6 recent positive cases.
So they have a rapid saliva test in 2 days. How is that rapid? How is that rapid?
48 hours? It's not that.
I could get film developed faster than that. You could go to Rite Aid and drive up to one of those things in the stinking parking lot and get your film back
What's
in an
film?
hour. Dude.
30 seconds.
Clarky Bob, tall, bald dude has one of those PGA NASCAR mic holders.
I have what?
Oh, that's just a mic stand. That's just it's
Oh.
not 6 feet away from him.
No. Dean,
seconds.
those test labs are being overwhelmed with testing right now. We know they're
No, they're
overwhelmed.
not.
Well,
No, they're not. Jesus Christ, Dean.
Jeff Bruder, it's rapid compared to the 7 days it takes us to.
Welcome back to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on SiriusXM 211.
I'm beside myself, Harry, which is pretty hard to do because I love the scientific talk that goes on our Twitch stream and on Twitter and in the media and everything. Listen, I don't profess to know anything about the virus or anything else, but I love when we're talking about the Miami Marlins and the Phillies, who lost yesterday, gave up 11 runs to a team that half of the entire squad is infected with the coronavirus, that still go out and drop 11 on the Phillies. And now all of a sudden they had to test the entire Philly organization, which I understand.
Sure.
And it takes 2 days to get the results back from Rutgers. And people are saying that. I'm hearing about where's the 5-minute tests? Where's the quick tests? Why do you need to send it? We send out film to go get developed and have to wait 2 days to go out to
that was only
Photomat?
you get a 24-hour
You can get your film
Photomat.
developed in 1 hour still.
What are you guys talking about?
Could it be, though, that they have to
Film
wait a certain amount for the incubation period and then test them? So
No, they test them and then they go see if they have the virus. That's how a test works,
I mean,
Robin.
No,
if
like
the NBA has different testing than the Major League Baseball, then I guess.
There's rapid testing. There's no 2-day testing anymore. And then Dean in Clearwater, living under his couch watching the stock market, is telling me, they're all backed up with tests. No, they're not. They are for strappers like you and me. We want instant results. I had to wait 2 weeks for mine. So don't give me this crap. Athletes and billion-dollar corporations don't wait 2 days for tests. That's how it works.
Sorry, I have no idea what I'm talking about with this, but it seems like baseball is not prepared.
No,
I mean, that's just from where I'm sitting.
Exactly.
It just looks like they did not prepare for anything at all. And I'm not going to – I know I'm the NBA guy on the show, but it seems like the NBA and the bubble format, the NHL, I'll give them credit as well, that seems to be the way to go. And at least they seem to be prepared to test and test quickly.
I agree. I'm giving the NBA credit and the NHL. Remember, the NHL was the first league that actually decided what they had a plan.
You got to give the tour credit, too.
I give the PGA Tour.
Because they're traveling, too, from place to place.
And they had a couple of weeks ago, they had a couple of caddies, and then everybody was going crazy. Oh, we can't play golf.
Right.
And then they figured it out, and they're testing. And have you heard another positive test?
There's been 1 or 2 here or there,
not
but
not
nothing,
enough to shut down the sport.
Not at all.
No, but if I had to defend on the flip side, if I had to defend baseball and even football, that's a lot of people, a lot of players and athletes in one locker room. Where the PGA Tour, that's all individuals.
No, it's a totally different thing.
Different
But what my point is they are traveling. They're not in a bubble doing every course, every tournament at the same course.
Yeah, they're going to different cities. They're flying in airplanes. So everybody's dealing with this in different ways. Whether you're going on vacation and you're afraid to get in a plane, everybody's doing the same thing. But when you're talking about Major League Baseball, which of all the sports really pooped the bed during the entire process from March 11th when they had to shut down spring training and then all the protracted negotiations. And then finally they're like, oh, what are we going to do now? Oh, yeah, let's start the games and everybody, here's the schedule. And then they don't have a plan, and then they allow players in the locker room
just to make up the rules.
Before a game to sit down and say, hey, guys, you want to play? How's everybody feeling? Yeah, let me get the meter here. How you feeling today? Let's see. Should we do a show? Let's see.
Right.
Let's see what you are right now. We're testing Harry. Harry's 98 degrees. Do you think we should do a show?
Right.
Should I get a swab and stick it up your nose and get it all the way up into your brain and stick it out, Harry?
What is our protocol? Like if one of us, let's say, couch guy, comes in here and he's 102 degrees and it's not going down. It's not because he was outside.
Right.
And all of a sudden he's got a fever. What happens to the show?
Well, you tell him, get out for one.
We'll send him right to Rutgers. I'll put him on an Amtrak. He gets off at the New Brunswick station, and he gets his ass in there and sits there for 2 days until he gets the results. How about that?
Okay.
And I'll pay for the test.
So after we tell him, after we kick him out, then we pray.
Yeah.
We pray really hard because we cannot afford to get sick.
And another good point here from Cujo knows. From Jeff Bruder, any word on the workers is at the Ritz-Carlton where
That's
the
where
Marlins
the Marlins stayed. Yeah.
What
right.
about those people in there?
They're screwed.
They're doing their jobs.
Now, Tony, I do have a little bit of information.
What about the cardboard cutouts that were infected right behind home plate?
That's
How about the
true.
Fanatics?
Some of them had masks on, though, I believe.
The cardboard cutouts?
Yeah.
So for the Phillies, since they were exposed to players, if they do either the nasal deep into your brain swab or the throat swab saliva test, they can still get a false negative if they get tested the same day or within 24 hours of being exposed. So that might be why it's taking 48 hours, because they have to wait at least 24 hours after having been exposed.
They were tested this morning, Robin.
Okay, I'm just
So then what does the test cure as it's going to the lab in Rutgers?
But if you test the day you were exposed, 100% of the time you will get a false.
Yeah, but what happens if the Phillies weren't exposed Sunday? They were exposed maybe Friday when the Marlins came back from Atlanta.
There should be enough time for the body to
here's my
react.
point.
And
I'm not a
know.
doctor. I'm not pretending to know. All I keep hearing is all the science experts out there telling me, there's a test, you can get it back in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
No, there's a test you got to send out to Rutgers and get it in 2 days. Why would sports spending billions of dollars
playing games day after day after day?
Why would they not have the most up-to-date, fastest testing possible on the
It makes
planet
no sense
Earth?
not to.
Why? What is this? Are we in Biafra? Are we in frickin' Cambodia
They're doing
here?
it over in Korea. That baseball league, right? They're testing all the time.
They're getting tested every day, and I ain't no doctor either, but it seems like there's rapid testing available where you get the test results back right away, and the leagues that are doing it right are testing every single athlete every single day.
Yep.
You know, there's some guys in the bubble, though, your beloved NBA bubble, who are missing tests. Did you see that story that came out?
What do you mean missing tests?
They're like scheduled on time. They're supposed to get tested every day. I think Porzingis missed a test and somebody else.
They do no-shows?
Yeah, I believe so.
What, did he just forget?
Yeah.
I mean, what else is he doing?
Yeah, they're stuck inside a bubble.
Stuck inside a bubble, playing basketball, ordering food, and go get your test.
They were on the
and
teacup
playing
ride.
video
And the
games.
line
I'd
was
be
a little
looking
long.
forward to the test. It's like one thing you have to do.
Jeez.
Exactly.
But no player has failed.
You know, the one thing I can say about this show, we're not doomsayers here. We're not, hey, go out and play no matter what, guys and gals. Nobody's that way on this show. We've taken this every day, one day at a time, Harry. I hate to use that cliche.
I know.
One day we don't feel good about stuff. You know, I don't know if they're going to shut down baseball. If they do, guess what will happen, Harry? We'll continue to do our jobs here because we have other sports to talk about. So I'm not going to sit here and cry about baseball. There is no crying in baseball.
No,
Didn't
that's
Tom
true.
Hanks tell you that?
No, that's true. But if they can't contain things and have things properly protocoled and adhered to in baseball, what makes you think they're going to be able to do it in football? And football, I don't care what anybody else says, we need football.
Yes, we do.
Okay? America needs football.
America.
As stupid as it might sound, that's the fact.
So here's the latest on the Dallas Mavericks. They had Saturday off inside the bubble, Harry, at Walt Disney World, and providing Kristaps Porzingis plenty of time to take his regularly scheduled COVID-19 test. And guess what? He didn't show up.
He forgot.
He forgot his test. Did he study for it overnight?
That's load management.
Now, Porzingis wasn't the only NBA player who forgot to show up for tests.
Who else?
Denver Nuggets Paul Millsap skipped his
not Ronnie
test.
Millsap, of course. It was a great, great song back in the day, Harry.
Now, Paul Millsap's starting to get up there, so he could have just forgotten.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? At his old age.
Yeah,
true.
So, again, how are you? So, when we're crediting the NBA with being in a bubble, where's the coach? Where's the rest of the organization saying, hey, bro, you got a test today.
Yeah.
Let's go over and take it?
Where's Porzingis?
Where is he?
Yeah.
Did he go to Magic
Call
City
his
with
room.
Lou Williams?
I mean, where could he be? He's either in his room or he's
at the ping pong table.
Yeah.
Where's Rick Carlisle? Seriously.
I
Again,
know.
if I'm going to rip baseball because the manager and the pitching coach make a decision, hey, everybody feels all right. Let's go out and play.
Right.
And then you got the Mavericks who know that they're supposed to take a test on Saturday and don't take a test. So whose fault is that? Is that our fault now as sports fans? Whose fault is that? Seriously.
Hey, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Every player showed up, Rick, but Porzingis.
Exactly right.
Your best
Go
one.
get him.
Yeah.
Now we know why they ran him out of New York. Jesus.
Speaking of New York, they have a new head coach.
Yes, indeed.
Thibodeau.
Thibodeau, Tibbs.
What did we call him back in the day? Didn't we have the butcher, right?
No, he's the guy that you would see at
the
the
meat
deli
counter. Yeah, the deli counter. Wearing the white.
Yeah, you could look at Tom Thibodeau. Look at his face, Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah.
And he's the guy when you go into a deli and they pull your number 54 right now. What do you want? I want a half a pound of boiled ham and a half a pound of Coca Cola.
He's got a little blood on some of the apron.
And then he hands you the first slice because it's boar's head.
See, is this thin enough?
Just thin enough. Yeah, a little thicker there, Tom.
That's him.
Tom Thibodeau is the guy in the
too.
deli counter.
He is.
All right?
Yes, he is.
The New York deli. That's perfect.
Yep.
Wait a minute, Jeff Bruno checking in. This is an update from the bubble. Porzingis missed his test because of the NBA's association with
China.
Here is
I wonder if they tested everybody at the Magic City, Harry, in Atlanta, after Lou Williams and a couple of other guys go in there. No, you look at Tom Thibodeau. This isn't a personal attack. You know, people say, hey, that guy looks like so-and-so. Tom Thibodeau behind a deli counter.
Here's the photograph right there. It says, hey, number 57.
What do you want?
57, what do you want?
What do you want?
57, where are you?
Let's go over here.
I mean, you just got to picture him in that white apron, though. You got to have the apron.
With glasses on.
With a little bit of blood on it.
You got a little
right?
sweat beads on the forehead. You know what I mean?
But he's got the gloves
and the
on.
plastic see-through gloves on the hands.
He's got a sweat towel too.
And
He's
one
dabbing his
tip.
forehead.
Right.
And the one thing I never do, you never get sliced cheese if somebody just had sliced meats first, because I don't want my cheese to taste like meat, especially if somebody's putting like liverwurst or some nasty meat on there, and then they put the cheese on that same. You should always have two slicers, one just for the cheese product, one for the meats. You never mix meats and cheeses, Harry.
And if you go in with your little kid, he's like, does your daughter want a little slice of something?
Yeah.
And then they give you like a little sample.
While we're on that, the best one I ever heard for the NBA, Steve Kerr looks like the guy in the office at the water cooler that's practicing his golf swing in mid-conversation. That's the best one I've ever heard.
Good.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, this Magic City kitchen, the Lou Will lemon pepper barbecue wings.
Yeah.
He's got, you got the Tony Bruno sauce
They
wings,
like
right?
the Magic City. I was retweeting them all weekend, man.
Yeah.
They said anytime you and Harry want to come down, we can't hook you up on the golf course. We can get you in the VIP room when things calm down a little bit.
But Lou Will's got to be just apoplectic, as Harry would say. That guy, Jack Harlow, the guy that posted on his Instagram, said, what are you doing?
Right.
Because then he said...
He outed him.
That was an old picture.
And then he lied, and then he claimed, that was an old picture
just
from
missing
last
my boy.
And that was the guy, the rapper that he went to the thing with.
Yeah.
Like, this is boy.
He's like, how
what are you doing?
dumb are you?
Yeah. He was supposed to be he was at a funeral, right? That's what he got permission
Yeah, his
to leave the
grandfather
bubble.
died,
right?
And he got permission, so he went. And then after the funeral, there was the after party at Magic City. Usually you go like to have a Coke.
It was a celebration of life, Tony.
Exactly right. And food.
Yes, exactly.
I jokingly said, whenever I want a good meal, I go to the YMCA. If the YMCA is not available, then I go to Magic City in Atlanta. Right? Remember in the song YMCA? You could get yourself clean. You can have a good meal. You can hang out with all the boys. It's time to stay at the YMCA. Everybody.
Lou says, I respect that, but Magic City and Blue Flame got the best wings in the city.
Now that's what I'm talking about. We're coming right back. Carl Ravitch, former Harrisburg TV anchor back in the day, Harry. Where were you? Weren't you up there in Berks County back when he was on TV in Harrisburg?
It was in the early 90s when he was there. I was in Philly and then moved south. So, no. That was after my Central PA days.
There you have it, a Central Pennsylvania update. Carl Ravitch, ESPN baseball guy, he's going to join us next. Old school, on Zoom, too. I love this Zoom thing, man. It's face-to-face, Harry. That's how you got to talk. You don't talk behind somebody's back. You talk face-to-face. And we'll do it with Ravi next. Stick around. I got the Angels and Oakland A's on. Is that game on television? And we got Arizona and San Diego Padre baseball.
Whoops.
There's a 0-0 ball game. 2 outs now. They are in the top of the second inning. Liverwurst eaters' lives matter.
Nice. Ugh.
I like liverwurst.
Ugh.
I like the spreadable kind, though, not really the hard stuff.
I don't have a hangover from Friday night. I woke up Saturday.
Yeah,
I was
you were fine.
Fresh and clean, man. Because we drank quality product. We weren't drinking trash. You drink that rot gut bar brand shit.
I was a little surprised, though, that you were as good as you were, even though you were mixing tequila and vodka.
I'm a professional, Rob.
No, you're not. Harry's a professional.
I didn't have any problem mixing the quality tequila with the vodka, Rob.
I was surprised, although
I wasn't.
You were definitely inebriated.
No, I wasn't drunk. I was just
Harry,
I was low-key.
Your opinion. Your opinion on
was
whether
I stumbling drunk, Harry, during that broadcast?
No, I didn't say you were stumbling.
God damn it.
But you were freaking hysterical.
I was just feeling good, man, in the neighborhood. Now, that's eating good.
You didn't tell us it was, not too busy, man. It's not too busy.
It was not too busy.
It's not that busy, man. It's not that busy.
Mick Mullen eats olive loaf.
Wow.
Olive loaf, nah. I don't like any of those meats that have the fats, like mortadella. It's like a ham, and it's got the little white fat dots in it. That's nasty shit, man. That's. By the way, Rebel Man with some great average white band knowledge, face-to-face and person-to-person. Remember that? That was not one of their big hits, Harry.
I don't remember that.
They did Pick Up the Pieces, as you well remember. Is Ravi hooking up, or we contacting him?
I'm waiting for him. He got the info. Oh, he says he's logging in right now.
Beautiful. Mortadella has pistachios in it. That's what it has. What's the one with the fat in it?
I don't know. Does Harry remember
Gabagool.
Prism? Yeah, I remember Prism.
Now, Jakob is saying you got the jorts on. Those aren't jorts, man. Jorts are jean shorts. Those are like thin. They're like bathing suit, thin polyester action.
Yeah, everybody thinks that those are like the faded jorts, but they're not. Oh, here, he's in. Tony?
What's that?
He's in.
Uh-oh, there he is. There he is, everybody. How are you, Ravi?
Bruno, everybody. There he is. Long time no see. Nothing changes.
How are you, man? Well, people are on our Twitch stream saying, I remember when Ravi was doing sport. He was in Harrisburg. And channel, what channel was that up there?
Channel 27.
27.
WHTM.
WHTM.
Okay, sound is good. We're going to be playing music here just a minute coming back from break. You are still live on Twitch right now.
We don't have the Baseball Tonight theme in here, though. Damn it, Ravi.
I can't start then. I'm going to have to leave.
Appreciate you doing this, man.
Okay, and you are going to be on with Tony and Harry Mays.
Okay.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
Welcome back to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on SiriusXM 211.
Having fun as much as you can during a pandemic where baseball games are already canceled 3 games into the season. We have afternoon baseball going on right now. Our couch guys already got action.
5% of the season is already over.
Is it 5% already?
Well, 3 games. 6
wow.
games, 10%.
I can't do that kind of math. I know a guy who knows that math.
Yeah.
People saying, shout out to the 607. a man who used to toil here in the great state of Pennsylvania, up in Harrisburg back in the day, and now, of course, is a icon at ESPN on Baseball Tonight and all the other great programming, the great Carl Ravitch. Ravi, how are you, man?
Well, I'm doing a lot better than that intro. I mean, there's nothing great about Carl Ravitch. He did once work in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, though, Tony. I know that. Harry, how are you guys doing? I'm doing okay.
Doing great.
Now, who was the governor when you were working there? Was it Tom Ridge?
No, I think it preceded Tom Ridge. I was there in 90 to 93.
And did you talk Senators? What did you talk up there, basically? Harrisburg
Senators, Hershey Bears. Remember John Ritchie, who became a great running back for the Oakland Raiders?
Yes. He's a radio guy here in Philly for years now.
Yeah. Good, exactly. He won a state high school football title there.
Cumberland Valley, I believe.
Was that Cumberland Valley?
I think it was
Cumberland Valley, yeah. We had Dan Bowie playing basketball there. Donyell Marshall was in Reading at the time. So there was enough stuff going on.
Beautiful. Not as much as right now. Actually, there's more stuff going on there than there is here. We're in the epicenter now, Carl. And obviously, I saw you talking about earlier on ESPN and on the feed, on the net. And here in Philly, the Marlins decided yesterday, apparently, from what I've read, before the game, that even though they were suspecting a couple guys had the coronavirus, that, hey, let's go out and play. And they went out and play, and they still beat the Phillies and scored 11 runs on them.
Yeah, I think, Tony, that most of these, and I think Major League Baseball will probably issue some statement within the next hour, hour and a half. You know, they're going to say, look, we knew going into this that there were going to be possibilities of individual cases and perhaps outbreaks like this. That's why they have 60-man taxi squads and 30-man rosters, et cetera, et cetera. Knowing that your team has got 4 players that are sick with COVID on it, and perhaps there's going to be more, you certainly then can get into a place where it may be wise to not play the game that night, and let's get some test results back, because if 4 goes to 10 or 9 or 15, we wouldn't play. So I think you do get to a place where you're aware that we have X number of players that have tested positive, and there's a chance there's more. You probably could have pumped the brakes on the game a little bit. But I think they're going to say, we have significant protocols. We will continue to do the testing. We will continue the social distancing. And they probably won't say this, but part of this is on the players here, too. They are the guys who have to behave in a particular way. And if you watch the Rays post-game celebration on a walk-off yesterday, I mean, we had everything short of kissing each other. There were high fives, there were hugs, there was all sorts of stuff going on there, and that's not proper. That's not the way you need to behave. And I hate to sound like a principal at a school, but guys, you got to act accordingly. You're going to sit in the office.
No, I hear you, Carl. And you're right. We went from don't even shake hands anymore. Let's do the elbow to elbow. And now, guys, and I was watching in the bullpens yesterday. The pitchers are all sitting next to each other with no masks on, and they're like a seat apart, not 6 feet apart.
There were guys in dugouts without masks
Exactly.
on.
So I don't understand how baseball has all these things in place, and then the management and the managers and the coaches and the people around are not enforcing these so-called rules that they have to steadfastly adhere to, just like the regular population does.
Yeah, and I don't know what the ability of a team or the commissioner's office to fine players who don't follow guidelines, because I'm not certain that these are laws or rules, whatever term they use. But I'm certain that this afternoon, after an owner's call with the commissioner, the teams were then told by their owners, you need to remind everybody in the organization how to behave. The first 3 days have not been a great example of following guidelines and following rules. They haven't. And we've done 3 months of the Korean baseball games early in the morning. And if you happen to see it, you've seen empty stands, but you've also seen, for the most part, and I'll say there have been some examples where they didn't follow guidelines. You'd get a fist bump or a high five. But for the most part, it is a different world, the way that the players over there have interacted with each other, than what we've seen in 3 days in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, Carl, the thing that really didn't make sense to me was the fact that, the Marlins get multiple players. They get results back that multiple players have contracted the virus, yet they let it up to the team to decide whether they wanted to play. You would think that there would be a protocol in there that says if you've got X amount of players or more that test positive on a certain day, that day's game is postponed.
I wouldn't argue with you, Harry. I think that makes sense, and maybe that's something that Major League Baseball comes out with, in the next couple of hours, that we're going to tighten up, and that would largely come as a result of a conversation and collaboration with the association. I know that the commissioner, under the agreement, has some pretty wide sweeping authority to say, look, we are suspending, if not canceling or postponing games for teams. And we'll figure it out as it goes along. I mean, back in '81, if I'm not mistaken, they ultimately used win percentage. Not everybody played the same number of games, and maybe you have to skip a series or two series for a team, and you subsequently fall back on winning percentage to determine the 16 teams that make the playoffs. But, yeah, I mean, the two things that come out of it are, A, you had a team that had 4 players apparently testing positive, being handed the reins to say, we're going to pull back or we're going to allow our team to go. And then you have players who are not doing things to help prevent the spread of any virus, should there be a virus.
And then a question, of course, Carl Ravitch of ESPN joining us. By the way, say hi to my buddy Boog Shambi. We had him on right before he got to get up starting at 4:30 in the morning to do those games. Yeah, you guys have been doing the overnight shift for a while, huh?
We went from overnight, Tony, to overnight. So we started at 3:30, 4:30 in the mornings, and then on Friday night for the opener, I was up till 2 a.m. when Matt Olson walked it off in a grand slam. So I don't know what day it is. I don't know who I am. I don't know who you are, and I'm starting to get to know Harry. So this is good.
Carl Ravitch. Now, the other question, of course, is, the stuff that we saw this weekend, there was some good baseball. We saw firsts. We saw the first guy on second base in a tie game. We saw the Cleveland Indians upset because the Kansas City Royals found a way to score without actually having an at-bat.
An official
at-bat in that inning, and then the pitcher's upset about that. It's just been a crazy. But we had Jason Stark, our old buddy, on last week, and he said he liked the idea of the guy on second base in an extra inning game, and we saw 2 examples of it, which showed you just how wild it can be.
For the most part, with the exception of the Royals, there's not a lot of bunting going on, at least in the games that I've seen. And in our game, the A's and Angels, they swung and tried to move. In the Rays game, there wasn't bunting going on. They did attempt to steal third, and that worked out pretty well until the base runner slid past third base. Look, with all due respect to the purists out there, and I love many of them, I'm in favor of something like this. I'm all good with games ending, and one thing that has been accomplished, they've all ended in the 10th inning. Mm-hmm. So the idea that you're going to have 15-inning games, and my best friend is Tim Kirkshin, and yesterday, even on our Baseball Tonight show, he said, Ravi, here's what I miss, okay? Some of the greatest games ever have been 17 or 18-inning games, to which Wise Guy said, I also know this, some of the worst games ever have been 17 and 18-inning games. And I think more of those occur than the ones that you actually remember, because I've seen 17, 18, 21-inning games. There's nobody there seeing them but me, who's watching the game, and the people that are playing in it. Nobody stays. There's a reason nobody stays, because there's tomorrow. There's tomorrow's radio. There's tomorrow's internet. There's tomorrow's sports highlight show. We don't need 17, 18-inning games, let alone with staffs that are taxed now and 60-game seasons. So, yeah, I like that. I'm much more of an experimentalist than I am a purist.
Have you gotten used to watching and or calling games with no fans in the stands yet?
I have. I thought that would be the most sort of jarring thing for fans who watch Major League Baseball. It is very different. And look, to their credit, it's taken 3 months, but in Korea, 10% of the fans are now going back into their stands. So if you're looking for a blueprint, and I'm not certain that Korea and the United States should ever be compared, just given the size disparity. But it took them 3 months in a country much smaller than the United States to get fans back. So this notion that perhaps fans at some point are going to go back, we have, 57 games left. I don't see how that's even remotely possible.
Couple of interesting things. Mike Trout, for the first time in his career, hits a 3-0 green light home run. I mean, who would have thought that, huh?
Yeah. No, that's interesting. The other part about Trout, which I think, based on what we're hearing with the Marlins here, and we've seen some Cincinnati Reds players, you do wonder, those that were a little skeptical about coming back or on the fence, if you see something like this, I wonder if it further exacerbates their anxiety, and they say, you know what, we're 0-6, we're 1-5. I'm not going to risk this. I mean, David Price came out, I'm sure you've seen it, with a tweet today saying, We're now going to see how serious Major League Baseball is with regards to players' health and safety. I don't believe they were serious in the beginning, and that's why I opted out. That might be one of these trickle effects from what we're seeing with Miami today. Is you're going to get some players who said, "Yeah, no more. We'll see you. We'll see you next spring."
And Verlander, that started out yesterday as oh, wow, he's out for the season. And then later on it cleared up, and they said, no, Dusty Baker said it's a strained forearm, just a couple of weeks. I mean, if he's out even a couple of weeks in this shortened season, that can't help the ball club.
No, I would lean more towards him not coming back. I do think that you can be optimistic about a strain, but there is empirical evidence, and a lot of it, that when you have a forearm strain, it actually is connected to the elbow. I hope that's not the case, but I think the initial feeling of he's done for the season because of that connection between forearm strain and elbow is so significant and so real. But I certainly understand trying to be optimistic about it, and we'll revisit in 2 weeks. If they don't have Verlander, they don't really have a chance. I mean, you can beat teams up, but it's clear to me there are two teams that stand out from everybody else, and that's the Yankees and the Dodgers. And then you can start to get into those next levels of teams that have a chance to win it all. But those two teams they're on a different planet, providing they stay healthy. They really are.
My favorite video of the weekend, though, is the Will Smith home run into right field, and it hit the Dodger fan's head and knocked it off.
Yeah.
And then the Dodger fan whose picture it was asked Will Smith if he can at least have the ball, and Will Smith responded to him and says, "Yeah, I'll see what I can do, DM me." So, I mean, that was incredible. Did you see that shot?
I saw the shot. I also saw Jeff McNeil, who decided to move his dog from one section, his cardboard cutout dog, from one section of Citi Field where he couldn't really see it to right behind him in right field, only to have a baseball go right off of his head, the result of a home run. So, yeah, there have been some pretty interesting and unique circumstances, and getting your dog cardboard cutout doinked off the head by a home run from the other team is another one of those that only happens in 2020.
But nothing tops the Philly fanatic in the stands during the Phillies-Marlins game, behind the seats, goofing off with cardboard fans, but especially the Marlins man poster there. He sat behind. First of all, he flipped him off, and then he blew his tongue out. He can't flip off. He doesn't have fingers. And then he went behind him and put his entire shirt over his head, and then pulls out a silly string thing and then covers his entire face. I mean, that could be a lawsuit. Marlins man, he must have paid to have that put there, right? Could there be litigation forthcoming?
The Fanatics got
COVID. In this society, absolutely. Hey, by the way, how's my boy Kruk sounding? Look, how's he doing?
He's so far in 3 games, he seems like he's got a lot left in the tank, so to speak.
He's in mid-season form.
So he's already passed miserable onto the other side of that?
Exactly.
He is the best. I love the Krucker.
We love the Krucker here, too. We just had Joe Carter on last hour talking about that 93 home run for the Blue Jays, obviously, and the Blue Jays not having a home. And so, you look at that 93 team, and even though there were a bunch of ragamuffin guys with the late, great Dutch Dalton and Mitch Williams reliving those days, and of course, Joe Carter, back-to-back World Series with the Blue Jays. Just great stuff reliving those days, Carl.
And don't forget, I mean, this idea, I don't mean to jump off of the great Blue Jays and Joe Carter, but the idea of the Toronto folks and the folks in Canada saying it's not really about us, it's about we don't want teams to come in from the United States that may have outbreaks. Well, here's a perfect example of why the government up there may have said, not such a good idea. We're not going to invite that into our country.
Yeah, but the hockey teams are all up there. They'll be dropping the puck, Gravy. They'll be dropping the puck later on this week in Toronto. I know, because they're in a bubble. So
they'll
that's
stay
smart,
up there.
And they'll stay up there in Toronto, eh?
Yeah.
Now, what are the best strip clubs? Because I know Lou Williams knows about Magic City and Atlanta in the NBA.
He only goes there for the wings, Tony.
Yeah, I know.
Toronto was known for its restaurants. That's what every time I heard from players, it was always the best food on their road trips was Toronto.
It is great. And, Buffalo, because they can't go into the Anchor Bar, because of the restrictions, they can't even go into the Anchor Bar and get wings when they're up there in Buffalo for the next couple of months. Once they start playing, August 11th is when the Blue Jays will start playing up in the Buffalo
I think if I'm not mistaken, the Anchor Bar, it's wings, and way the hell back when, it was OV splits. Do you remember that in the bucket?
Absolutely. That's great Buffalo knowledge right there, Robbie. You're younger than you. for a guy who worked in Harrisburg, man, your knowledge is phenomenal, man. Phenomenal.
I think I also worked in Binghamton, New York, and Harris and Ithaca. And the reason that we knew about Buffalo is because Ithaca College football program used to play the University of Buffalo. And when it did, we went to the Anchor Bar, and that's where the OV splits and the wings came in.
Beautiful. And of course, Ithaca, the alma mater of the great Chuck Wilson from ESPN Radio beginning days, as you will remember.
Yes.
Beautiful. Hey, Carl, we really appreciate the time, man. So next? You going to do baseball tonight? What's your schedule so people can follow you? At Carl Ravitch, ESPN, by the way. By the way, you following me on Twitter now? You weren't following me before.
I am now. When I get hey, Carl, look, it's Tony. Get the hell on Twitter. Follow me. DM me. I'm trying to find your butt. So right away I can follow you.
Thank you, sir.
And by the way, I would not suggest trying that at home because it's reserved for people like Tony. Don't ask me to follow you just because you say follow me and I will. I knew Bruno had an ulterior motive. Schedule is important. Tonight with Kirkchin and Eduardo Perez, we have Red Sox Mets. Somebody named Osich is pitching for the Red Sox, not Chris Sale, so that should go well. We got a game Wednesday. We got a game Friday. We got baseball tonight, Sunday, providing we have baseball. Let's hope we have baseball.
Yeah, exactly. And, of course, the Mets, you talk about a team that got lathered this past week, and a couple of teams really gave up a lot of runs, and Atlanta really laid the lumber on those Mets.
Things are going to change. Once we get the DeGroms of the world out of the way and you get into teams 3, 4, and 5 starters, we'll see some offense.
Oh, yeah. And it's hot out, and it's hitter's weather, right? And the ball's carrying, as we saw over the weekend in some places. Carl, great to catch up with you again, man. I really appreciate your time, buddy.
Anytime, guys. Harry, good to see you. And Tony, take care, buddy.
Thanks,
Anytime.
Carl.
There he is, Carl Ravitch. Just put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen.
Does a great job.
Yes, he does. I knew him when.
Yeah, that Braves Mets series really skews the run differential.
Oh, yeah. If you look at some of the run differentials for the first 3 games, there's a couple of teams really, really hurting.
Braves are plus 14. They won by 13 yesterday.
I know. If the season ended today, the Atlanta Braves would be declared World Series champions. I mean, there's only 2 and 1. You can only be 2 and 1 or 1 and 2. There's nobody undefeated after 3 games.
Well, I think the Yankees are 2 and 2, right? They've played.
The Yankees are 2 and 1.
Oh, they're 2 and 1.
Yeah, they're all 2 and 1.
Day on Friday. The Dodgers are 2 and 2.
Wrong.
They split with the Giants.
Okay, so the Giants played the 4-game series.
Yeah. The Astros have a plus 10 run differential 3 games in.
I know, because they're beating up on bad pitching.
Yeah.
So that's your latest on baseball, Harry. But again, Phillies, Yankees, Citizens Bank Park here canceled tonight, and the Marlins were supposed to be home in Miami to play the Baltimore Orioles. That's been postponed as well. And they only have one open date, like on August 24th. So we haven't had any rainouts. We did have the game that was rain short in the Yankees' first game.
Yankees Nationals.
But they counted that as an official game unless you bet on it.
Except action. You didn't get any action.
No action, Harry.
Yeah, the favorites went 14-2 on Thursday and Friday. Of course, Thursday only had 2 games. But the favorites are only 26-19 with 1 pick'em. So the underdogs had a good Saturday, Sunday in the game.
That's why I always say, don't bet baseball, bet the dogs. That's where you're going to cash.
Home and road, 23-23.
Is that unbelievable?
Even. So obviously,
there's no home field
advantage. There's no
home
field advantage, right? And unders are 24-20-1 with 1 game with no action, and that was the.
This is great baseball recap.
Yankees.
Forget about the box scores and who's hitting what and who's got home runs and who's got RBIs. Well, the guy who had the best weekend, though, not Mo Bamba, Nelson Cruz. How about Nelson Cruz weekend in Chicago, Harry, against the White Sox? Guy's 40 years old, 4 extra base hits, 4 ribbies in the same game, 2 doubles, 2 home runs. He had 3 home runs, 10 ribbies in Chicago over the weekend. He owns the White Sox since 2019, 11 hits, 34 ribbies, and just 19 starts. And this guy is the oldest guy in baseball history to put up a game like he had yesterday, Harry.
It's pretty incredible.
Unbelievable hitter, man. That's professional hitting right there.
Yeah, and how about Ohtani's debut on the mound? He faced 6 batters. He didn't get a single out.
Now, he hasn't pitched. He hadn't pitched in 2 years, and he's coming off, and I've seen a lot of people break it down saying that, his delivery was different. Now, remember, he's going to get better, Harry. I mean, that was an aberration.
Wow.
And I saw Joe Madden talking about it afterwards.
3 walks, 3 singles, 5 earned runs, and 0 outs.
Exactly right.
Yeah, that's a rough start.
Whew.
Exactly right. So you're up to date on baseball here, Harry. You're not getting this kind of baseball breakdown anywhere else, are you?
I highly doubt it.
I don't think there's going to be one team that's more than 4 or 5 games over 500.
Probably not. They're going to beat each other up.
Yeah, they're all going to be right around 31 wins.
No, it's the Dodgers and the Giants are 2-2.
Yeah,
they played 4 games.
Yeah, and they split.
Right.
And how about Gabe Kapler? I told you not to sleep on Gabe Kapler, Harry.
Stop.
I told you about it. Did you see that they're already? Dave Roberts was already complaining about Gabe
shifts?
Kapler. No, bringing out the lineups at the last minute.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, pulling a fast one on him out there in the West Coast, Harry.
Well,
I told you, Gabe Kapler, man, he was probably putting some coconut oil on, probably got a little bit on the lineup card.
Froze.
His computer froze. He had to hit Control-Alt-Delete and do a hard boot, and then he brought the lineup card out too late, and Dave Roberts, the Dodger skipper, wasn't happy, Harry.
Yeah.
They should have taken it right out to the mound. They should have gone right out there in the home plate area and made it decide. That's the Bomba squad, baby. You're Minnesota Twins, Harry. Don't sleep on the Twins, Harry.
No.
You know,
absolutely.
the Dodgers' closing number last night was minus 315. They go out and they lose 3-1.
Yeah.
Wow.
If
Minus
you had them
315.
and you had the Kansas City Royals against the Indians, you were cashing a plus, I think, 235 in that, right? That's some good gambling knowledge
that was
right there,
good.
man.
The Oakland Athletics just took a 1-0 lead against the Angels, by the way.
We got all kinds of action going on, man.
Now, is that on regular TV or you got that on the app?
I'm streaming right now.
Yeah. He's streaming right there, baby.
Right now.
By the way, it's a final in overtime. Fulham and Cardiff City, 2-0, Harry. Fulham with the win. You know what I'm saying? We got it all covered here. All. We got football to talk about, too. Coming up next hour, Matt Miller. Not Mac Miller.
No.
Not Matt Millen. Matt Miller, Harry. It's Miller time. We'll talk some football. Now what? Are football players going to worry going to camp where they get to go home at night and then come back and work the next day? What do you think, Aaron? Carson Wentz came in here in Philly with the mask on today. Soft boot is Control-Alt-Delete. Hard boot or soft boot? I don't know. Reboot or boot? Is Control-Alt-Delete a soft reboot, Robin?
No, that's a hard boot.
That's what I thought. Not Das Boot.
That's like the boot they put on your car when you don't pay
that's
your
a hard
tickets.
boot.
That's a hard
I tried
boot.
to bust one off once. It's really hard. I got to get a special tool the next time I get booted. We're coming right back. 215-462-TONY. And we have strapper line calls. 856-818-4045. Write that down. That's a 24-hour recorded line, 856-818-4045. No one will try to sell you a timeshare. No one will tell you that your car warranty is coming due next month. It's a fun strapper line. You call, we play it back if it's good. Stick around.
Actually, a Control-Alt-Delete is technically a soft boot because you're shutting it down, restarting it through the system. A hard boot is when you actually physically push the button.
It's now 2-0 A's. And the San Diego Padres, show me your lightning bolts. The Padres have taken a lead over the Arizona Diamondbacks. They're in the bottom of the top of the second inning in San Diego. Not Das Boot. So you didn't even get that one, Robin.
I did. I know the movie.
That is great German submarine knowledge right there.
You have to say Das Boot.
Das Boot.
Lange O. Das Boot.
I want to know. I always loved it back in the day when you would go into DOS mode. Remember?
Yeah, DOS. Yeah, DOS.
Go to the black screen and then the little blinking.
We have the MLB Network on a different. We have two separate. We have Verizon Fios and Comcast. And unfortunately, this TV, I should just switch the networks. I'd have to switch. I wonder how I would do that. Switch the boxes. I'll figure that out, and then we can switch the Jujuma wikis. Yes, Apple does make great computers. Although, the last couple of years, Apple has seriously neglected the reason why Apple was the favorite amongst artists, movie makers, composers, etc. Because they were so concerned with their iPhone stuff that they seriously neglected us. So, I don't know. Dean, Apple makes great everything. Buy their stock. ASAP. Yes, sir. Oh, and I have that stock that you were talking about. JAMF. It's an Apple supplier.
Got 2 minutes.
Whoops.
2 minutes left in the third period.
Stock. I have to.
Going on.
JAMF. Buy now. Are we too late, Gene? Is JAMF? It was up over $1 earlier today. Crap.
What?
Okay. Per Dean. Don't lose that. That's the stock. JAMF. Hey, that's the one he says. Buy it. Buy it. By the way, somebody said that you flashed everybody during.
Right there?
No, during the.
When I was doing the Philly Fanatic, putting the shirt over the
that's what it
Marlins
was.
guy.
Dean says just wait till
I
it
know, I
pulls
see it.
back a little bit and buy it then.
My goal is returning because I don't go outside. It's not a big gut. I'm still at 200.
Yeah. But we do need to. I think it's hormonal now.
It is about the hormones. You got to keep your hormone, make your hormone. You know where that's from? Area code. You know that, right?
Google
Commonly know that's
employees
from
are
area
working
codes,
from
right?
home till July of 2021.
The
Holy
hormones.
Cripe.
What is that from?
I got hoes in different area codes.
See, now I'm strictly a Sheck West groupie, so I don't really venture into other
No,
forms of rap.
Joey Binoco, Tony did not fall off big time.
Here we go.
We did have a cheating weekend, though.
Here we go.
Welcome back to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on SiriusXM 211.
Keeping it real, keeping it raw. And as Sammy Sosa said back in the Cork Bat era,
Just keep it continue the same thing.
just keep it, continue the same thing, Harry. So I got you on, Joe, got you on a great golf course out in Kansas City, Harry, today so far. What have we learned here, as Dan Patrick would say on his show?
With Joe
Dan-
Carter.
So I got you hooked up at a great track, a Fazio course out there, Harry.
And I have a feeling he will get to Philly, and he's going to take us up on our offer.
I can get him down here at the lakes. I know the guy down there runs the. He rents shoes out in there.
Right.
You can rent shoes. That's what kind of track it is, Harry.
A couple good munis.
Yeah. I know the best munis. Trust me.
Now, for those of you who would like to call in and comment on any of the stories that we've been talking about or bring up
Should
something
we
new,
shut down baseball? Well, let's ask the question, Harry. Do you feel safe now not being able to go to a baseball game, so they should shut it down?
Put it on the poll,
Do you
Guillermo.
agree with Washington Post columnists and every other major media person who writes about sports saying that we should just all shut it down and stay inside and never go out again, Harry?
It is just amazing, though. Like when the news started to come out about the positive tests with the Marlins.
Oh.
I mean, just Twitter just exploded.
Not since the Hindenburg disaster have we heard a media panic of that
Unbelievable.
magnitude. Oh, the humanity!
Dude, those articles were written 6 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
I know,
As
right.
soon as that news came
Yeah.
out, they just hit upload.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
And they were on,
unbelievable.
it's blaming everything on Florida because, see,
Right.
Florida is
That's right.
like a hotbed.
And then they were in Georgia, and the governor there should be in jail. And then this is going to happen.
But if you would like to call in, the phone number is 215-462-TONY. That's 215-462-8669.
Exactly right.
Of course, you also have the Strapper line if you want to just leave a message. And the Strapper line is 856-818-4045.
Now, do we have a strapper call in the queue, as they say, Josie? I thought I heard Joe monitoring several of them this morning.
Yes, it's actually from Pat Canine's son.
Pat Canine's son checking in? Did he bring vodka at least? Because we know we polished pretty much a half a bottle the other day. Did you see that, Harry?
Yeah.
That
yeah.
baby was fresh.
Yeah, that looked
This
like...
is Friday. This is just with 5 people, and not everybody was drinking.
Yeah, that looks like a bottle that arrives at my house after a good Saturday.
Don't forget about the 1800 coconut.
Yeah.
Right.
And the other.
Right.
We had multiple. This is called... Damn, we drank a lot.
We actually have 2 Pat Canine's son strapper lines in a row.
What do you mean? You can't call a strapper line and do consecutive.
Well, no, wait a second. We got to figure out if his first call is good enough to play the second call.
Agree.
That's why
Right?
I listened to the first one, and it's actually very funny. Now, Pat Kineen, son, is out in Arizona. Hadn't heard the show, didn't know anything really about it. His dad kept telling him, "You got to listen to the show, man. It's great, it's great, it's great."
And his dad does some engineer work
Correct.
for this show.
Yes, he's
just
the
to let
technical
people
director,
know.
and he brings in
And he
vodka.
shows up on Friday and drinks vodka.
Yeah,
with
but
us.
at least he brings vodka.
Exactly.
Well,
He's not like that strapper that comes to your house and drinks all your booze and never
then
brings
leaves.
anything. Yeah.
And he's a young man, you know,
Like
he's in
me.
his 20s. And so the very first show he listened to, the very first segment he listened to was the extra segment on Friday.
Oh, God. What a baptism.
Yes. So this is
The bar is
So
set
this
high.
is the short. The first one is the 22-second one that he left on Friday after immediately listening to it.
After listening to the show,
Yes.
go to hell in at the after
Yes,
show?
yes.
The after party in the hotel lobby?
Wow.
This was much better than the hotel lobby. Let's go to the strapper line.
Strap on, strap on, strap on, strap on, the strapper line.
Hey, this is Tristan Kineen, Pat Kineen's son, calling from the great state of Arizona. Just wanted to call in and say that today's show was some of the best radio I've heard in a long time. My dad sent me the link. He did warn me that it's some of the best radio he's heard in a long time, but I was not prepared. You guys did an outstanding job today. Keep it up.
Outstanding job of using a lot of profanity and having fun and laughing and drinking. By the way, this was not on the air. It was on our Twitch stream.
Correct.
So what we did is our Twitch stream usually ends when the show ends, but we kept it on because we do recording after the show, and we gave the extra and you didn't even have to pay extra for that. Normally you would have to pay $20, $30, $40 for that kind of content. But we said, let's give them a little extra something. And we left the Twitch stream up. So it's on YouTube. It was not on the actual airwaves.
Correct.
But it was on the Twitch stream, and it's still there, and it's on YouTube now. Unedited, unexpurgated, unsheathed, uncorked,
uncircumcised.
Anything you need.
I really felt for our man Andy down in Houston, though.
Oh, I know.
I knew it was going to be a really long evening for him.
Hey.
The poor guy has to sit there and walk
Unlike-
us through this stuff and record this stuff.
Unlike Ryan, he could not do an Irish goodbye and just walk off.
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
Yeah.
You know what he said after that recording?
Don't tase me, bro.
No, we were just trying to get him. He wanted to get out and go out Friday night where it was raining. It's been raining in Denver now, apparently, for a couple of days, according to Joey Bonocco.
But we should play part 2 of the Pat Kineen because it's
not
a follow-up.
Not Fingertips Part 2 by Stevie Wonder. His first hit as a young man. Remember that song, Ron?
Never.
I never heard
12 when he released it?
Yeah, I
Something
think he was like 12 years old.
Really?
I remember being at a lake in New Jersey when I was a kid, and that song came out. Fingertips Part 2 by Little Stevie Wonder back then. Not like Lil Jon or Little everybody.
Or Little Richard.
Little who's some of the other Lils?
Lil Dicky, Lil Baby.
Yeah, Lil
Uzi
Baby.
Vert.
Little Stevie Wonder back then. We got to find that and play a taste of that. That's a great song, man. That's old school.
Lil Uzi Vert.
He
should not even be named in the same
Uzi
sentence
Vert.
as
Get outta
Stevie
here.
Wonder.
Not Lil Wayne.
Stevie
Lil
Wonder.
John.
He
Lil
doesn't
Kim.
deserve to have
Little
Little on
Caesar.
there.
Jesus.
Lily Lane.
All right, so here's part 2.
This is Tristan Kineen once again. This is my second on the strapper line today, and then today is my first time calling. Pat Kineen's son, like I said the first time. Number one, change the strapper line tone because nobody likes Carol Baskin. Robin, do not pretend to be Carol Baskin on that. Number two, I called to compliment how amazing this show was. I just finished where Pete got off the air. You guys brought a walking encyclopedia on, and not only that, you did it at a point where you were off guard. And I just got off the phone with my father as well, where I told him this is original radio, which is what I'm a fan of, mixed with podcast style. You guys are keeping it on Twitch when your SiriusXM commercials go, and it's absolutely amazing. Not only that, it's just the quality. I've always been a Tony Bruno fan my whole life. Harry Mays, you've always been great. And hey, shout out Joey C. I see Joey C in there. Yeah. But this is just amazing. Keep this up, guys. You guys are doing such a great job, and I can't say that enough. Like I said, I've never called in before, but this is my second time watching the same episode that I'm calling in. You guys really just did a phenomenal job with this, and my hats off to you.
I'm beside myself, Harry. I'm not used to that kind of high praise. I'm used to getting ripped on Twitter, ripped on the Twitch stream.
Or by program directors in the past.
Underappreciated, underpaid.
He did rip the Carol Baskin reference on the Twitch, and I should.
He's right about that.
He's right about that.
Yeah.
Because
I thought it was pretty funny.
It was, but it's
By
too.
the way,
It's been on
speaking
there
of
too long now.
SiriusXM, I just got this in the mail, Harry. My
What's this?
SiriusXM subscription renewal notice is here.
Yeah?
Yeah. Guess when it expires, Harry? Because I've been a Sirius customer forever.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm on the auto pay, where they redo it.
Sure.
So I'm hoping that our bosses at Sirius will do the right thing by me.
Oh, you think they're going to waive it?
Absolutely.
Are you going to renew?
Of course I want to renew. It's all I have on in my car. So if you're listening at the Twitter at the SiriusXM headquarters,
yeah,
and my boss is listening up there,
I pay for it too.
I pay for it. I just want people
I don't
to know.
know what we would do without
We love this product so
Yacht
much, we
Rock
pay for it.
Radio.
Right. But I think now as a token of their appreciation of us being on the Dan Patrick channel, SiriusXM 211, wouldn't you think they could pick up this account here? I mean, it's good till, let's see. What's the date here? Automatic renewal. And I pay for my sons, too. I have 2 SiriusXM
Oh, so you're going to try to get them free, too?
No, I don't want my sons for free. When does it renew?
Somebody's got to pay for this stuff.
I've been paying for it forever. I don't have a problem paying for Sirius.
Tony, why don't you
But
give
don't
it to
you
me
think
and
as
see
an
what I can
employee,
do?
don't you think as an employee now, as a man who's bringing greatness back to satellite radio, Harry?
I would hope so.
Man.
It doesn't say when the date is. 9/14.
They've already billed
September 14th,
Oh,
Harry.
okay.
So I got a month to keep pimping the Tony Bruno Sirius automatic renewal subscription
It's like a
notice.
month and a half.
I know.
Better start putting money aside, man.
Yeah, well, if everybody sends me $1 a day, let's see. And so how many days, Harry, you need a clock. Can you do a countdown clock for my renewal of my SiriusXM subscription?
September the 14th?
September the 4th. Harry's got he's got countdown clocks for everything.
September the 14th, huh?
Yes. September 14th. Set it for the 13th, though, because if I don't get it by the 4th, I'll forget it. They'll already bill my credit card, which they have on file.
Tony, the Oakland A's just got out of trouble there. Bases loaded. They go a 1-2-3 double play. Right back to the pitcher, catcher, first baseman, out of the inning right there, unsheathed.
But it's still 2-0?
Still 2-0.
Unscathed.
Unscathed.
Unsheathed is when you release the
yes,
crackers.
unscathed.
What was the number in that game, by the way?
I just got the Athletics money line. I forget the number exactly.
I know you would. Do you remember the 14th day of September? No, that's not the song.
It was the 3rd of September.
That's
so
right.
That was the day my daddy died.
Exactly. Well, there's also the 21st day of September. On and on by Kool and the Gang, I believe.
Or was it Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Earth, Wind, and Fire. Thank you.
47 days, 7 hours.
Until don't let it lapse, folks. Yep. I want everybody to come in and chip in 10 cents, and I should have enough to renew my subscription.
But Tony, I only remember the 3rd of September because that used to be my go-to question when I did classic rock trivia. And people are like, I'm not really a classic rock person. I'm more into like the Motown stuff, and I always bring up that one because that was my go-to question of, all right, so
But on and on by the Earth and Wind and Fire, they say is it the 23rd day of September or the 21st day of September?
23rd, I think.
Don't worry, the Twitch stream will tell you, and also tell you you're an idiot for not knowing it.
Well,
too.
I do. I am an idiot. I know there were 2 different songs where September's mentioned. The dates are mentioned in there. And on. Not the Stephen Bishop
No, I
song.
love that song.
Down in Jamaica, they got lots of pretty women. Steal your money and then they'll take your heart. Remember that song?
Mm-hmm.
21st night in September. That's the first day of fall, isn't it? I think that's what it means.
Mm-hmm.
I think the 21st of September is the first official night of fall.
The first night of summer is what, June 23rd?
The 21st night of September.
S Falcon 39. Well, I think it's because he's filling in on another show, right?
Who?
The Josh Innes show and Tony Bruno show is on at the same time. I think it's because he's filling in.
Yeah,
on
Josh
something.
is on the local
Yeah.
station in Houston today.
Yeah, he's filling in. That's why. Normally, he comes on right after. Yes, 420 is the first night of spring.
No, it's not.
Spring.
September. Yeah. No, it's
March.
not.
Cujo
It's
knows.
in March.
Oh, see, what are you talking about?
That's a bad job out of you, Cujo.
Now, yeah, probably. Did you see this story, by the way? We need to advise, if anybody's listening, do not do this. If anybody's underage, doesn't have full permission.
Well, that's what, I want people to do this, but you have to have your parents' permission first.
Yes.
So if you go on Twitch and you give us $20,000 to our stream, you will not be ripped by anyone. I will sign an affidavit.
You have to make sure that if you are under the age of 18, that you get your parents' permission.
Especially if you're female, I want you to doubly get your parents' permission. Just look what happened to what's her name, Harry, back in the day.
This is actually just
when
a
she was
recent
under
story.
18.
Who?
The
Tracy Lords?
Tracy Lords.
There's a documentary coming,
Yes.
or is already out, I believe, right?
I gave you a little Soupy Sales knowledge right there. Remember Soupy Sales got in trouble back when he came on and said, "Oh, kids, I want you to go in Mom and Dad's wallet, take out those green things, and send them to Soupy."
Joey Bonocco, best line from Friday's after show. They should send this to every broadcast college in America.
Oh, shit. That scared the hell out of me. I just think I
Welcome
pulled my
back
neck.
to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on SiriusXM 211.
Welcome to the epicenter of canceled baseball here. Philadelphia, where it was so hot last night that 3 police cars caught on fire, Harry. 3 police cars.
Caught on fire or were torched?
I don't know, Harry. We'll have to wait for the investigation. But there will be no baseball here. No Yankees lose. The Yankees lose here tonight because that game's been postponed. The infected Miami Marlins. It's like watching The Walking Dead. We've got infecteds among us now. We got infecteds who stayed in our hotels. We got infecteds walking around like zombies.
That was already going on in Philadelphia.
Well,
already.
you're right about that. Yeah, exactly.
That's basically every night.
Exactly right. But anyway, we got a lot of stuff to get to this hour. Talk a lot of baseball. We got a couple games going on. We'll have a Twitch update. And I'm going to recommend to people, because I mentioned my SiriusXM subscriptions running out. You know, we're grossly underpaid on this show. And if NPR can do it and they get some government funding, we get zero government funding. So if government provided programming asks for additional funds to help keep the show going, that's what Twitch does for us, Harry. Let's go to Miss Robin, because she has a Twitch update, which hopefully will motivate the base. We'll get you updated on baseball going on in San Diego and in Oakland. Hello.
Yes, this is both an update and an applause and with a caveat. So
as long as there's no caviar, I ain't eat no fish eggs.
No.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
A young gamer.
Wait, this is a gamer update.
Yes, in the UK, managed to rack up $20,000 in charges on their parents' credit card by giving Twitch donations. Now, Twitch donations they're bits. It's to help support shows, and we highly recommend them.
So one young gamer
one young
charged
minor child
$20,000
$20,000
to some strapper playing video games on Twitch
on their parents'
and
credit
it's pounds now again because they left the euro, so there are no.
It's 6,186 euros.
No,
16,186 pounds, and it only took him 17 days to make those donations on Twitch.
We need 17 years to get that on this show. Oh.
So we would both love somebody to do that, but if you are under the age of 18, make sure, or if you're married, make sure that you have permission.
Or if you're a female under the age of 18, don't bother because I don't want to get arrested like all these people in Hollywood.
With full idea of what you are doing. We don't. It's so. We
Wait, I got to give it
all
up.
the bits.
Dean has just contributed 2 bits right now. Let's give him a
Wow.
round of applause. He gets shave and a haircut for that. Shave and a haircut. 2 bits. Who are you going to marry? Todd Fritz. How many? I don't remember how that goes. Remember that song, Shave and a Haircut, Harry?
No.
Come on, man.
What? No. Todd Fritz?
Todd Fritz works with Dan Patrick, you know. He's his booker.
Well, yeah, that's Fritzy. Yeah,
I know him as Fritz. His real name is
but
Todd
that's
Fritz.
not who they're referring
No,
to.
that's not. It's not even Todd Fritz.
Yeah, okay.
So
if you remember the Shave and a Haircut song, how does it go?
I don't remember it, but last thing on this story, the kid was donating to a specific NBA player and 3 other super popular streamers. So it was only
Wait, so
4
this
players.
kid is sending money to stinking NBA players
Yes, like
who
they
are
don't
going
have
out to
enough money.
strip clubs and are in a bubble getting Instagram models
Yep.
to come in and service them,
Sources-
and we're sitting here working,
Allegedly.
slaving over a hot microphone every day, bringing you the best quality radio available on the planet.
I think it was Lou Will.
Was it Lou?
He spent almost $20,000 to 4 different players. Wee-ha.
Now, see, people are ripping. I'm not calling the people cheap. I'm just trying to motivate the base, as you know the politicians do when they send you those emails every day. Send us your money now.
Yeah.
Send money. We need this. You'll put us over the top. Thank you, Joe Quills, and thank you, everybody, for sending us bits. I mean, it's the only way this show can stay on the air and provide the same quality broadcasting that you get every single day. Now, Harry, where's Weiser basketball or baseball? What does that say on there?
It's my high school.
Weiser?
Conrad Weiser.
Was his first name Bud?
Nickname.
Ba-dum-bum.
I gave him the rim shot. So there you have it. People are cheering bits now, but thank you very much. Show us your bits. Show me what you're working with. And don't forget our fans-only show, which we do after the show. Let's go out to the desert, New Mexico, where I believe they've shut down baseball out there too. But the cooking still continues in the desert. And we go out to our buddy Vince in New Mexico. Vince, how are you, brother?
I'm doing great. Like most true Americans, I watched baseball this weekend, and I was just struck by the cardboard cutout. I mean, I'm telling you, I got fascinated by them. I switched around at games. I'm like, well, who is? I was trying to identify who those people were. Behind the home plate and everything.
Teams did it different, Vince. Like the Phillies had all the people who worked, first responders.
Yeah.
So the seats behind Citizens Bank, those were first responders. They're going to add fan seats in the seats later if they have games later. And then, like other teams, had the guy in Dodger Stadium who got hit in the head with the ball in right field.
A home run.
Yeah, he was one of their fans who had that seat. And then he's going to get a baseball. I think he worked for the team, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, I think it's MLB's sitting on a gold mine. I mean, I don't know what it is to have a poster or a cardboard cutout. I think in Philadelphia, why don't the Tony Bruno show?
I agree. We should have all of our heads back there.
I was being mistaken for one of those heads over the weekend. People on Twitter.
The great thing would be Tony. Harry, Miss Robin, and the couch guy, and even McMullen or whatever.
I agree.
Home plate.
I mean, we're going to need a pledge drive. We're going to have to go all PBS on you and stop the show whenever it's inconvenient for most people and say, okay, we'll be right back to the show. But first, folks, we've got some Tony Bruno Lighthouse refrigerator magnets to give away and a backpack that's right there just used by the couch guy. We'll throw that in with a pledge of $25 or more.
You got to bring in that white-haired guy with the goatee.
Exactly, yes.
What's his name?
Just throw a monkey wrench into it. Have like somebody in the fourth inning come down and rearrange the 5 of you, and then have you and Robin facing each other, like yelling at each other. So, that would be,
I agree. We should have, people pointing at it, just my fingers.
You can't go 4 innings without yelling at her. Or, I'm sorry, Tony. I mean,
that's not my style. I don't do it. It just happens. It's organic. This show's very organic, and it's non-GMO.
Yeah, nothing's pre-planned.
And it's free range.
I have to go back to last week, and you had Sean Salisbury on?
Yes.
Remember? Yeah, and I guess he was talking from someplace where it was 60 degrees.
It's his apartment.
Yeah, he had and I encouraged him and everybody around America to lower the temperature, Harry. You know, we got problems in this country. You look at all the protests and stuff. When somebody said lower the temperature out there, I lowered my temperature down to 65 over the weekend, Harry, just to make sure.
But Harry made he made the clever connection to the carbone on the meat hook thing, and I was wondering, Tony, did somebody have to explain that to you, Tony?
No, I knew the carbone.
He knows.
I know the stuff. Just because I don't watch mob movies 24/7.
He doesn't celebrate the mob movies.
I mean, you're a self-admitted, you don't like the mob movies. That's what I'm trying to.
When I think of mob movies, I think of that strapper governor up in New York, Cuomo.
No.
I'd like to see somebody go Goodfellas on him one day.
But I almost drove off the road when Harry said the carbone on a meat hook. I was like, what?
In fact, there's a new one out now, apparently on Netflix, called Fear City, which is about the relationship with the mob, the 5 families, and New York City.
Oh, I got to watch that.
Oh, dude, that's must-see this week.
Oh, yeah.
Fear City.
I got to watch that.
Fear City. You walk down Center City, Philadelphia. This is Fear City. In fact, the Marlins are safer here with the coronavirus than they are walking down the street in the city.
That's true.
They got more likelihood of being hurt or killed by walking around our city at night than they are by sitting and stinking in a damn underneath the tunnels at Citizens Bank Park, for God's sake.
Are they safer there though, and being back in Miami? I'm not. That's 50-50. I mean, or plus 180. I don't know.
It depends on where you get it.
Yeah. You'd have to go offshore for that one.
I usually go offshore for good action, Harry.
Yeah, even Couch Guy can't get that in the States.
He can't get that. Hey, Vince, great stuff, brother. Thanks for checking in today. What's the temperature out there, by the way? What's the temperature?
Well, it's only like 78.
Wow.
We go through the monsoon.
Oh, you got any haboobs come through yet, though?
We had one the other day.
Yeah, a haboob. Robin knows what a haboob is.
Is that like a certain type of storm?
Yeah, it's like a dust storm,
sandstorm or something.
It's like a dust storm, and it hits Arizona, New Mexico, and it gets so if there's no rain, obviously, and then it gets they like little tornadoes.
You never want to be driving in a haboob.
No.
I mean, oh my God, because you can't see 20 feet in front of you.
No, you have to pull over.
Well, Eitan just called and he said, wait, the haboob, can I smoke out of it? Right. No, it's not the same thing, man. I'm sorry. It's not the same thing. It's an actual dust storm.
Take care, Tony.
All right, be careful out there. How about that kind of haboob knowledge here?
Yes. And we're not talking about my haboobs.
No.
We're talking about a haboob. And
yeah, you don't drive in a haboob. Seriously, Pete, you know this. You're in Arizona in the desert, and you could see one coming.
I was out on the freeway when when one was coming right at me. Everybody pulls over.
Pull over to the side of the road as soon as safely possible, and call the show or send bits while you're sitting in your car listening on SiriusXM channel 211, Harry, and on Twitch.tv. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You're not getting this kind of traffic and weather together on the 11s here on the program.
How do you spell haboob?
Haboob.
Oh, just how it sounds.
Just how it sounds. Not how it looks.
I think it's an original Arabic name.
By the way, I have breaking baseball news. I'm not making this up. This is legit. According to William Weinbaum on ESPN on the website, Emory University epidemiologist Carlos Del Rio,
I saw this,
regarding the Marlins outbreak and postponed games, told ESPN he isn't surprised. I don't think we need to be having baseball at this time in places that are having major outbreaks. Not only is it unsafe from the players' perspective, it also, in a way, is a little bit disruptive to the community and something that I worry about. I really am not very optimistic we can have sports in a safe way, given what we're seeing in community transmission. This is Emory University epidemiologist Carlos Del Rio, not related to Vanessa Del Rio, a true Hall of Famer. Not in epidemiology, but in other fields, much more respected than Emory University. You know what we used to say to girls from Emory? When you walk up, when you say, hey, what school you go to? No, it was Emerson University. I'm sorry, that's wrong. It's an old joke.
Emerson's in the Northeast.
Yeah, Emerson's up near Boston.
Massachusetts.
Yeah, Emerson. Yeah. Emerson, nice boobs you got there, honey. You used to be able to say that before the Me Too movement became a thing.
Yeah, that would be out right now.
Yes.
Not Jack Del Rio, of course.
And not Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
No, I love Emerson Lake.
Yeah, haboob, a violent and oppressive wind blowing in summer especially in the Sudan, bringing sand from the desert.
Right.
They look pretty intense.
Oh, they
that's
are.
intense,
They're
eh?
incredibly
That's some
intense. And then the name originates, I believe it's Arabic.
I like the name.
I love that name, too. We're going to have my fantasy teams, the Haboobs. We walk around with beads on,
Yes.
just in case somebody lifts
Tony
up their
Bruno
shirt.
is 5 years old.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
5.
Emerson, nice boobs you got there, baby. We're coming right back. We're going to talk football with Matt Miller, Harry, NFL draft expert. And we'll talk about training camp. Are you starting to worry? Not in this house. Stick around.
Not up in here.
It is 3-0 Athletics now.
Okay.
And the Padres now trailing the Diamondbacks have put 2 runs up on the board, Harry. Manny Machado.
What am I doing? Oh, yes. Number 3, guest. Ta-dam. Matt Miller.
Didn't like my NPR begging.
Begathon? We should do a real begathon. Matt Miller.
Fairweather Marvin, beware the haboob when you run out of the Moonlight Bunny Ranch without paying. First of all, I don't think you could ever get out of the. You pay up front, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Join.
Not that I know. Although we used to have the Bunny Ranch guy come on the show all the time.
I know, before he
no
passed away.
No longer with us.
What was his name again?
I forget his name.
Oh, he
ran for mayor.
ran for governor, right?
Did he run for governor of Nevada?
Yeah. And I think he was doing quite well, if I am not mistaken.
Dennis Hoff.
Dennis Hoff, that's it. Yeah, Luigi was very bummed because he got we all had an open invitation to come visit the Bunny Ranch.
Absolutely.
But he's
all of his employees follow the show, you know.
Oh, yeah?
Absolutely. You know, when it's slow out there in the desert, you got to listen to some quality radio.
Oops. All right, Matt, are you logging in? Matt.
Williams paid a lot to see some boobs last weekend. Not Emerson Boozer, the great New York Jet. Remember him, Harry? Emerson Boozer?
Running back.
Absolutely right.
CPKSP. Do your haboobs hang low? Do they wiggle to and
You saw
fro?
the haul the New York Jets got for Jamal Adams, man.
Yeah.
Dude, 2 firsts and a third,
Two
and
firsts,
and
a
that
third,
safety.
and a safety.
Yep, that McDougal guy.
Yeah, he's not apparently. I mean, no Jamal Adams, but apparently a pretty good player.
Matt. Where are you? Oh, don't tell me the.
What happened?
Oh, speaking of haboobs, just got a text message from Matt. We got hit by a storm and I've lost internet at home and work today. Hopefully it's up again, but if not, can we do tomorrow? He must have had a haboob.
Where is he? Where does he live?
He lives out in Midwest somewhere, I think.
Nobody has postponed their appearance more on the show than Matt Miller. But if he's got issues, he's got issues.
No, we've tried to get him on before.
Yeah, he was scheduled a couple times last week, and
but
he couldn't do it. And then keeps pushing it ahead, but that's okay.
He's in Missouri.
Missouri.
Joplin, Missouri.
Oh, I love Joplin, Missouri. I know Dennis Hoff died. We had that.
Let's open up the phones.
Let's go to the
phones. Let's go to the phones. So hopefully he is okay. But I do not have a response from him yet. I'll just leave it up.
So this guy, this William Weinbaum, all he keeps doing is calling all these doctors, and they're all saying the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back to to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on SiriusXM 211.
Keeping an eye on stuff. So we have more storm warnings. Not a haboob, Harry, but our guest Matt Miller, scheduled to appear today, said he got hit by a storm and he's lost his internet at home. So he can't be able to do anything from home. So we'll move him again to tomorrow?
Sure.
Absolutely. You know who else is going to join us tomorrow? Dan Schulman. Talk about baseball guys. Does the Toronto Blue Jays. A lot of Toronto Blue Jay talk on the program, Harry.
Mm-hmm.
Toronto's the epicenter. We got hockey starting there at the end of the week. Right, a week from today, we'll have hockey action.
Yeah, didn't the Flyers leave today to go?
No, they left
there?
yesterday.
It was yesterday.
They headed out,
yeah,
and they activated the great Oscar Lindblom. How about that, Harry? So
Right.
he is on the roster after going through all the treatments for his lymphoma,
yeah,
and now he's activated. So that's a good sign for the young man.
Apparently, Carter Hart is okay. There was much trepidation a few days ago when he left practice.
He didn't go to any strip clubs, though, did he?
No.
Did he go to Rexy's at least?
I don't think so.
I don't know where he went.
No, the Flyers got some love over the weekend. I saw a cool story they did. So for all, I guess, the players' wives and girlfriends and side pieces, whatever, they sent them all flowers. The Flyers from the Flyers organization saying, it's going to be tough when they're away in the bubble, but I mean, this
bubble
is
butts.
nice.
Were there any bubble butts up there in Toronto? I usually
sure.
go down like to Puerto Rico, Mexico, places where they say.
Ay, papi, qué rico. Dame más. Sí, sí.
There you have it.
Let's get the phones fired up.
All right, we have open lines.
Yeah.
If you want to call, you call right now. You won't have to wait an hour on hold to go on for 20 seconds. You know how it works here, Harry.
Yeah.
215-462-TONY. 215-462-8669. That's the number. Whether it's baseball, should they play, should they stay, or should they go? We'll have to play a block of the Clash. Did they do that?
Yeah, they did that. That was a big hit.
I know it was.
With all this virus talk with the Marlins.